just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wanted to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
Our goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all of the belts, all of the titles. Body work, body work, body work.
Welcome to Body Work.
I'm trying to figure out, like, y'all didn't hear anything that I had. Nobody heard anything I had to say.
Well, welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. And I'm not sure why you didn't hear me when I first came on, but I had been talking for almost about 3 minutes. But that's why you got to surround yourself with good people to keep you on track and let you know when everything ain't all that. But I've been looking at the landscape. I've been waiting. I've been watching. I've been doing my researching my topics, because I don't be microwaving my research. I don't be watching pockets. I don't be glizzy gobbling. I don't be knee pad wearing. I don't be throat coat spraying. I don't be tonsil jewelry displaying. I don't be bib wearing. Waist hugging. A lot of the stuff that we seeing nowadays, I don't be doing it. I be straight. I don't be bugging. But I see nowadays in this boxing world, everybody is lunching. I'm like, man, this is Groundhog's Day. The stuff that we're actually seeing right now, and salute to Cookie Monster. Body work. Cookie Monster, sounding good. Thank you. I thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. But I've been, you know what I'm saying? I've been doing the groundwork, man. I've been doing the stuff that everybody be saying that they need or that they want. When you confront them and you find out they be fronting. You ain't no day one. You a flip-flopper who watch pockets. I got Tourette's, y'all. It ain't been confirmed yet, but I'm looking, man. I've been looking over my health coverage, and I've been trying to figure out whether or not I'm going to go ahead and the proverbial pull the trigger and go sit in somebody's seat, because every day I look around, society be trying to tell me that there's something wrong with me, and I'm like, man, this is not what I'm seeing. This is what y'all portraying it to be. And I couldn't help but think, this is Groundhog's Day, man. Like, you can let your favorite content creator, like, you know, put it on a nice he can put it over some fava beans and a nice Chianti, or he can have it with some blueberry pancakes and, you know, some eggs over medium with a little bit of hash browns. Or he can do it like I like to do it. Cut up that beef scrapple, you know what I'm saying, in the 4 sections. Cut it on the you know, however you want to put it. Fry it up in the skillet. Get you some grits and some eggs and, you know, sprinkle a little cheese in them guys, and then, you know, serve them up. Like, however you want them to paint the picture for you, man. This is Groundhog's Day all over again. You know, and I'm not going to steal anybody's thunder, because this is well-documented information. But I thought that, man, listen, man, this is what I'm here for. I'm here to put the stakes on the ground and then tie it in and let you know where it all goes down. So they can't run away, and they can't be like, you know, because like a lot of people like to go down and take down videos. They like to play these dates and time games. They like to play these games where they say profound things and then act like they followed up by saying that somebody might try to come take it from them when they've been taking it. They've been borrowing, they've been pilfering, they've been looting, they've been robbing, plundering. Right up under your eyes, man. I like them true crime series, man, where I be studying. When I ain't online watching boxing, I promise you I'm looking at them crime joints, man. Them true crimes. No fiction, everything. I randomly pick some stuff and I be like, damn, that was right there in Silver Spring. I know right where I know that building. I seen that. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. I'm riding back and forth. So I recognize patterns. Read descriptions. Had a job doing nothing but troubleshooting. Recognizing patterns and when something ain't right and when something ain't transmitting. When I was in the Army, I was a 31 Romeo, a multi-channels transmission systems operator. Communications! So I believe that I believe that I could transmit and receive pretty good. Like, that's why I be trying to say it be the pulse of boxing, man. And I'm like, man, I be saying that to a lot of people, man. It's crazy I gotta break it down this way, but I believe and I'm seeing that some people, man, your bus might not have been like all the way long, but it might not have been all the way short. They might have been understaffed and you might have was supposed to be on a short bus, but because they was understaffed and it's like, well, dang, man, it's going to use about the same amount of gas because if you decrease the amount of passengers on it and you're using a larger vehicle, just the weight is going to be, it ain't going to be as much weight. You might be able to get away with buying less fuel and you can get the job done for about the same price. What you saying, Mike? If you listen, I'm going to tell you, right? Boxing is playing us, man, and people keep running the same plays, and you can see who playing for which team and who done bought these knee pads. I just be like, man, if you're going to wear the knee pads, buy them for me, for the cheap. Jeez Louise. I got throat coat. If you're going to use it, get it from me. I'm slicing the prices 20% cheap. If you're going to rock a bib, I got bibs and aprons. I got jock straps with your favorite fighter on them. If you want to support your favorite fighter, we're going to help you go to that extra mile, but we're going to help you protect yourself at all times. Yikes! Boxing conversation is so irky right now. If I'm allow myself to use a Baltimore word, I'm gonna say irky. Like, boxing is making me black out right now. Like, we're all day, every day, we hear people just calling in the throat their favorite fighter and they move goalposts so much. I'm like, man, just start a moving company. At least you'll get paid for it. Cause the amount of jockstrap riding you doing, like, you might as well get paid for it. You know, I would have some questions if you're not getting paid the way you representing. Especially people like EBT card boxing. Like, I don't care what Shakur do. That man is on his knees. Like, you should be getting an endorsement, man. Ain't no way them people from the Lossinger company shouldn't be hollering at you, EBT. Like, ain't no way them people from the knee pad company shouldn't be hollering at you, EBT. Like, ain't no way that them people who make bibs for babies that catch everything, ain't no way they shouldn't be hollering at you, EBT boxing. EBT card boxing. Because no matter what Shakur do, you got an excuse. And I used to think that it wasn't always like that. But the more and more I looked at it, I said, no, just like all these other guys. He's good at playing second fiddle or third fiddle or just playing the background. Why? Because they always play the advocate. As long as there's, I already told y'all a long time ago, as long as Tank is popping, you can be one of 3 advocates. And if you time it right, if you were a Devin Haney fan, when he was going up against Tank, you had something to say. If you was a Shakur fan, when he jumped in the picture, you had something to say. Before T.O. lost his mind, if you was on T.O.'s side, then you would have something to say. But when you go back and forth and everything, and no matter what happens, no matter what goes on, no matter what your favorite fighter do, you on that side, you D-right. And I hate to break the bad news to you, man. A lot of people be turning their nose up at people who, when they be in these open relationships, because they don't want to admit that they husband or wife, girlfriend or boyfriend is part of the community, and they are actually part of the community. It's like you be thinking that you're in a singular community relationship, but you don't realize that your significant other is part of the community. Like we see it all the time. Like you didn't realize it. You didn't want to open up your eyes that you were in an open relationship, like it or not. But it wasn't until it was on the news that it was confirmed that you was in an open. Now we knew that. You knew that the whole time. And that's how boxing is. I hate to say it, that boxing is a lot like relationships, like where somebody might be going through something, somebody might have created an offspring. And since we have a relationship with the boxing, I can't help but break it down in plain science about the topic. A lot of the times when we look at it, because it's something that people talk about all the time when it comes down to child support, visitation, all those types of things. What winds up happening is the relationship will go bad, whether it's girlfriend, boyfriend, husband and wife, spouse and spouse. At the end of the day, once they part ways, it's supposed to be about the best interest of everybody. This one, that one, and the offspring. But a lot of times it becomes all about one party. And we can act like we don't see it. We can act like we haven't experienced it. We can act like this is not something that a lot of people done gone through. But it's a lot like boxing fans. Think about it. A fight don't happen, right? And what happens to the fans? You like them children that's forced to pick one side or the other. And you get played, but what's happening? The court system, the boxing politics system get involved. And all of a sudden, it's about the fighter. Like, I can't stand seeing all these people. They are so quick to, no matter what fighter A does, they have something to shit on them about, right? But then when their fighter come out and do some shit, then they have everything to justify it. It's like, man, you should have went into law, homie. You in the wrong profession, dog. Like, your best interest shouldn't be what this fighter's getting paid. That's not none of my business. It shouldn't be none of yours. I'm not jumping for joy because this dude got $5 million, and the next time this guy show up, no matter who he fight, he might get anywhere between 40 and 65. That's not none of my business. I'm not getting paid for it. But I get it. You just like these court systems who by default, you just gonna play both sides. Like, you just gonna default to what the system holds, to where in hindsight, if this boxer got paid X amount more, you can brag on the fact that he got X amount more and he was just a shrewd businessman. All the while fairing to mention that this man might have missed out on the fight of his life. Payday of his life. Whether win, lose, or draw, it was going to be the fight of the night. Because you can't rival on any given night. If the Cold War was to go down, which is Tank versus Shakur, that on any given night, that wouldn't be the illest fight of that night. Like right now, I tell you what, you name another fight better, and I can prove you wrong. How about that? But it's just like the system where like in relationships, like a lot of people don't really realize this, right? But at some point in time, it becomes he versus she in the child, which are the big fights, like the shit that the fans want. They go neglected. Why? Because she gotta prove that she's better than he, or he gotta prove that he's better than she. And who miss out? The fans. Who that be? We. As in me. Somebody who don't never shy away from claiming to be a fan, representing, keeping watch, recording, plotting, coming up with content, feeding my people with them fruits and veggies, not that Reggie, staying on topic. And I don't even be pocket watching. I want them all to get paid. That's not none of my business. Because if they wasn't boxing and they was doing something else, like we don't know what they be doing. They might be in the streets handling business. But we got to look at some of the plays and some of the things that's going on, because we can understand this when it comes to relationship. When let's just say the baby mama, like you could pay, you could be doing everything that you need to be doing. Never get to see no visitation. You can reach out. You can say, hey, my team reached out. Like, you can reach out. But reaching out ain't enough. Rain, sleet, or snow, you could be playing your child support. That don't mean that you gonna get supported. That don't mean that you gonna get to see what's yours. But in your rights, and with everything you doing everything in your rights. That's real life. Well, Mike, how did that relate to real fights? You could be buying all the fights. You could be keeping up with dates, times, and schedules. You could be on it. Like, if this guy's fighting and I'm buying it tomorrow. Matter of fact, I'm buying it in advance. I'm putting money on the bed. I'm all in. What do you expect? When it comes to boxing, I'm at your neck. But then she decide that, yeah, it's not this time. Like, you can't. It's not your weekend, man. You can't see the baby. Well, what's the baby? The big fights. No, because she decided that it's not your time, and it's right now. It's not your weekend. Like, this not your weekend for the big fights. Like, yeah, I know you had this planned off in advance, and you thought you was gonna get your time, and you was gonna be able to do this. It's not your weekend. But because she decide she gonna go elsewhere, and the baby, which is the big fight in this case, is going with her. That's how we are as boxing fans. We don't get it. We get it, but then we love to play ignorant. This is Groundhog's Day all over again, man. People can say what they want. The big fight should be Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Tank Davis. We not getting it. It's been news that came out here recently that Bud and Fundora has been ordered, and they got 30 days to make it happen. And if that don't happen, then pretty much Fundora is going to be forced to drop it like it's hot. And Bud is in the same situation that Shakur Stevenson was in when he fought Jamel Herring. Now, there are a couple of different little nuances, but it's pretty much the same thing, to whereas Shakur Stevenson was basically able to basically strong arm Jamel Herring into a deal. And then based on the pay rate that he was used to getting, he was able to take more based on his last 3 pay periods. And when Jamel Herring didn't agree to this, then he was going to have to drop his belt and run away. So he was pretty much backed in a corner. Now everybody is actually saying that Fundora will be ducking Bud if he allowed Bud to pull the same move that Shakur did with Jamel Herring. Now, to the only fans who got all excited and wet their panties just now when I said what I said, let me come along with that sanitation napkin for you guys and let you know that I do not blame Shakur Stevenson for his ability to be able to do that, because they should not have been able to limit his income based on the drawing power of the champion. I just thought that as the champion, you respect the champion to where you would make it be conducive, since the champion is giving you an opportunity to where you wouldn't be disrespectful for the prices. Now, you had people in your back corner that could talk to this and get it right. But Jamel Herring wasn't the type of person. He was actually one of your homies. And because you turned, that's when I first started seeing the Darth Vader stuff. And if you've been watching my videos, you already seen I've been paying close tabs to Shakur. I'm not one of these fair weather fly-by people. I've been giving him his props when he was doing his props. Been giving him leniency when he needed it, but then being fair right down the middle when it was like nobody else gonna say it but me. That's been me. I just said that as your partner, you shouldn't have had to do all that, because Jamel Herring, he is a veteran. Salute to all my veterans. I was Army, he was Marine. But Jamel Herring had the kind of spirit where you had to go on like that. And it even when his wife came up after the fight and said, man, like Shakur, he said she was the only one that stood up. In the midst of all these Sean Porters, all these Zattels, all these Al Juries, all these little motherfuckers that be all around, all in this. Ain't nobody say nothing around that time, and they should have. Andre Ward, Tim Bradley, ain't nobody say nothing when Shakur handled that Jamel Herring situation like that. Where was all the OGs back then when he did that Jamel Herring? I was one of the ones to say, listen, man, I rock with you, Shakur, but you had to do Jamel like that. Like, he was giving you an opportunity at the end of the day. He could have been like some of these other dudes who you wouldn't have got an opportunity. If you was a Devin Haney, you wouldn't have got an opportunity like Devin Haney did with that low ass offer. When you poom, if Jamel Herring was poom, you wouldn't have got no opportunity. And now we done came full circle with the WBO that basically came out and said that this man Fundora got 30 days to get it on with Bud, or and they're going to do the same stuff because Turkey Sheik, the inflated Bud prices, even though he lost on the fight, based on his wages, right along with Bob Arum was saying where he was losing money on fights, regardless of talent. Business is business. This shrewd businessman is encroaching Fundora, and they looking at Fundora trying to make him look like he's gonna be a duck if he don't take it. And I'm like, well, hold on. If the man got 2 belts, and he decided that, oh no, I'm not gonna let you Jamel Herring me, not me. Why? Because people fail to realize that when Errol Spence got his cachet, one, he was just like Boots back then when ain't nobody wanted to fight him. All these revisionist historians, all these people that done grabbed the mic, and anybody with a mic will let they funky ass get up there and say whatever the fuck they want to say because they saluting Bud and shitting on Earl, allowed them to repaint this and be revisionist historians to the fact that Errol Spence was down there in Dallas building relationships down there in that stadium. He had Jerry Jones. It wasn't his fault Terence Bud Crawford was up there in Nebraska and they just had a college team. And yeah, he had Warren Buffett, but what team was it that he can come out like? Was he out there in Green Bay? When they had McCarthy, was he out there doing that? No. Bud was doing this thing and built up the cachet down in the stadium. To where I think they even missed out by where they had that fight because why? Errol Spence did his shit not only inside the ring because Contrary to popular belief, if you listen to everybody who talk about boxing, they'll act like Errol Spence ain't did shit. When the battle of Undisputed, Errol Spence came to the table with 3 belts. But since he was drunk, Errol Spence, washed Errol Spence, and Terence Bud Crawford was able to catch that big fence, now Errol Spence ain't shit. And I call bullshit. But Errol Spence was the one who built it up in Cowboy Stadium. Errol Spence was the one who built it up where they say in business. But everybody give Bud all this praise for what he did in business, and he basically raked Errol over the coals. But if Errol didn't allow himself to be raked over the coals, we would have never got the fight. That's the way Bud do business, and this is the path that Shakur's on his way to doing business. Prove me wrong. It's not gonna be good for the sport. Just like when one parent keep the other parent away from the child, and one parent drag the other person through the ringer from seeing the other child. This ain't gonna get. So when you go hop over and you go sign with this and this and that, you be thinking, oh man, yeah, that's what's best. Oh yeah, man, you got it, and you made out with this much, or you getting this amount. It's not what's good for the child. What's the child? The big fights. We don't get the big fights, do we? Nope. We just get a bunch of D-riders who, no matter the politics or whoever side or whoever got the most momentum or who can be, you know what I'm saying? Because if you on the opposite of Tank, it's always going to be a spot for you, man. We done seen it. All the Ryan fans will jump over the Devin Haney fans, will jump over the Shakur fans, the EBT card boxing fans. You got the OKTVs of the world who jump from Devin Haney over to Tank, and it's been like he's been like that forever. Like they just flip-flop. You got the garbage trash can mans of the world, like butt fuck tuberculosis, will come out and D-ride Devin Haney till the wheels fall off, shit on Tank till the wheels fall off, and now the Shakur fucking up. Now he'll act like he trying to get on Tank or represent Tank right just by shitting on Shakur when he be biting too. This is Groundhog Day all over. And if you allow yourself to believe that it would be a bad decision for Fundora, who had already, him and Errol Spence, it was already a track record with him and Errol Spence wanting to get it on. It was already a track record. Before, Fundora was already on record saying that either A, he would move down to 47 to fight Earl, or he would fight Earl where he was at before the Bud Spence fight. So it was already a history there. Earl had already got his fan base down there in Cowboy Stadium. You can say what he want. I've never heard of a top pound-for-pound fighter with 3 straps going for undisputed get shitted on so much because he lost to arguably the #1 pound-for-pound talent. And he ain't shit. He already had a history of going at Fundora. That fight was made. That's already a big fight down in Dallas, already in the stadium that's going to make, no matter how they can sell that out, all Earl people, everything that he built up on his own, separate of Bud Crawford, regardless of no belts. If you think that Fundora would be dumb as hell, if you were one of the ones saying that Fundora is going to be dumb as hell, but saying, okay, cool, you can have the belt. Cool, go have at it. If you think he dumb and you going to point fingers at him, then you can't give Bud credit for how shrewd of a business person he is. Because what he's trying to do is do what Shakur did to Jamel Herring, and Fundora and his team is not going to allow that. Why? Because they can pack out a stadium down there in Dallas. He can retain that belt. You can call it duck, strategic duck, or whatever, but you can justify business. Like when Bud ran away from the table against Earl and went and got an Abenesian for a money grab, you can justify business in that sense. But you're not going to be able to justify why Fundora should stay right where the fuck he is. And if Errol Spence come back, if that want to be his claim to fame, if that want to be his last one out, after all, he did go and get 3 straps compared to the one that Bud had when he came there. Rewrite that. You can't rewrite history. So people can try to act all they want. They can try to flex and fake and put all these names and shit on Al and put all these fingers at Samson and make all these crazy names. All they want. It'll be a smart business move if Fundora just let Bud have that fucking belt and let him go make the big fight with the belt with whoever else so he can get all his accolades and the shit that they all chase anyway, because it don't matter when it comes to Bud, as long as he get his accolade. Give Bud his accolade. You still get to fight on with Errol Spence. It's going to be a big fight. It's going to do big numbers. You're going to get your bag. You ain't going to have to get back down in the corner like Jamel Herring did when he was the champ, affording the opportunity. Boxing is backwards, man. Like the blue collar guys, the ones who work it, work their way out of the mud and build up whatever they got and have whatever they got. It's always somebody that want to come by and take a shortcut. You might be talented, but you didn't build up to what it takes to come by and overshadow and back down and power down and shrink somebody else's income. Where they do that at? But then you'll have somebody like EBT Card Boxing come out praising how much Shakur Stevenson getting paid. We don't give a fuck about how much he getting paid. We ain't getting paid. You getting paid? We don't care. We hope they all getting their money. My new motto is go and get your money, little duffel bag boy. We don't care. I these guys for any of them getting paid. I just hope that they in the ring and they're doing their thing. They being continuous, staying relevant, consistent, getting them rounds in, not being inactive. As long as they doing that and they still putting on fights, they gonna get paid. That's not none of my business. But now you got people coming out there campaign and cheer and do a backflip along with a split, and I don't know, they did some shit that I ain't never even seen one of the Dallas Cowgirls do. But they doing some strange like yoga pose / spit for Shakur and Bud that I don't understand. It supersedes the sport of boxing. And it goes back to this relationship I keep talking about. When two people have a children or it's in a relationship, it's like, man, you got to do what's best for everybody. Not just this party, not just that party. But a lot of people got on their knee pads, they throw coat, they bibs, they tonsil jewelry, they out and about. I ain't never seen a motherfucker in a sundress, but I swear I'm about to. One of these fans like EBT Card Boxers is gonna come out in a sundress, and I'm gonna be like, I told you so. Cause they just wanna go that extra mile for their favorite fighter. I don't get it. But if we condone these things, man, like it's not right. It's not right. Like, yeah, Fundora is that guy, and you can say all you want about him not winning or him winning about with Tim Tszyu. That was Tim Tszyu's fault that they didn't stop it within the first 4 rounds. That was his team fault. So it can't be I and we and me, and then we choose and we want to use these things to describe ourselves. When all things got to be considered, your financial team who advise you, your matchmaking team who matchmake your opponents, the people you have in your corner, the people that's helping you with your strength and conditioning, the people that's helping you with your weight loss, the people that's helping you with your nutrition, the people that's helping you manage your time, the people that's helping you manage your social media interactions. All these things should be broken down and on autopilot. But as a fan, we shouldn't be caring about that shit. I degaff what these motherfuckers getting paid. Because at the end of the day, I can always show you a date and a time and a place where even my favorite fighter done played me. So why wouldn't he play us? It's the nature of the business. But we can pick and choose. We can break down and be overcritical about resumes when it comes to everybody else. But when it comes to somebody you like, you can't say shit about their resume. You can't say shit about the choices that they made. You can't say nothing. And I call bullshit. We gonna sit around and we gonna let Bud, Jamel Herring, Fundora. If Fundora step out, man, I don't care what you say about Fundora. Because if Bud can be the shrewd businessman, if Shakur can be the shrewd businessman to where it only matters with them, why are y'all pointing all the fingers at Al and Fundora and anybody they got, and Samson and all them when they trying to do what's best for their fighters? It seemed like you, just like in that scenario, what I be talking about them baby mamas, them baby daddies who be doing all kind of crazy shit, painting narratives and creating things that ain't so. Because you rocking with a certain party. And you know that the system is catered towards you. AKA the sanctioning body. Stop it, man. This is Groundhog's Day. If you don't know your history, they say that he who does not know their history is doomed to repeat it. I kid you not. I'm just asking for somebody to prove me wrong. Don't D-ride. I don't care who you like. I don't care if you like Herring. I don't care if you like Fundora. I don't give a fuck if you hate Shakur, but you love Bud. If you love Bud, but you hate Shakur. I don't care. This is Groundhog's Day. Tell me we ain't seen this movie before. Tell me. I'm here. I knew I was gonna have to make myself prevalent today, man, because boxing is funny, man. Like, we can't even talk boxing no more, man. We can't even be real. We can't even be honest no more, man. Like this shit is getting weird, man. Let's have a heart to heart, man. Let's talk about this shit. You want to get in the hot seat? You want me to get up here and shut the fuck up for about 7-8 minutes and just let you talk? Have the floor. Explain this to me. I just ask that you stick around when I got some questions for you. Whenever you start saying some shit and the train start getting off the tracks, I just ask that you allow me to say, hey, hold on, hold fast, stop, wait, pause. What's going on? So if I'm gonna put the link out here, but if you got something that you need to, explain to everybody, if you need me to get in the background and shut the fuck up, I will. But you gotta explain to me this. Like, Fundora is a business, just like Bud. Jamel Herring was a business, just like Shakur. Only Shakur and Jamel was homeboys, and Jamel actually afforded his homeboy an opportunity. And we seen the history of what happened when Shakur did that. He used his past 3 salaries to dictate what he was going to get and the split, and he wound up raping Jamel Herring. So we're going to allow Bud to do that off of some stupid, goofy shit, and he don't even want to fight Jamel? So what? Jamel went up to 68. Jamel was still the man at 54. Like, what changed? He dared to be great, because they say that with everybody else. Oh, he dared to. Mikey Garcia, oh, he dared to be great up there with Errol Spence. Oh, Teofimo, when he go after Bud, he's daring to be great. These guys get to jump up and they dare to be great, and then, you know what I'm saying, when they get beat down, then it's like, oh, okay, cool, it's an excuse. You tell me, in what world do we live in when we discount what Errol Spence was able to do down there in Dallas Cowboy Stadium, having the actual athletes come by, actually being able to get Jerry Spence on film saying name, the same shit I was saying that Jerron Boots Ennis should have been doing up there in Philly to build it. It wasn't nobody's fault that Bud didn't have that in Nebraska, but who was Bud? Who was Bud really? to come back up, because when Bud does it on the best interest of Bud business, that's okay. But if Fundora were to say, you know what, I stand to gain more money if I go ahead and have this Errol Spence. Granted, I'm going to let go in the title against Bud. But as far as business-wise, since everybody want to bring up prize fighting when it comes to their favorite fighter, because we kill this narrative when it comes to Tank all the time. People take away from his accolade, they take away from this, take away from that, and when it comes down to it, they say he's the cash cow. And there ain't no way around that. But when somebody's not a cash cow, like Bud, like Shakur, like the ones who I say they want paydays. Like some fighters, they want paydays. Some fighters are paydays. So some fighters want paydays like Bud and Core. Some people are the paydays like Nello and Tank. And I don't agree with shit that Canelo do. So don't get it twisted. My question is, when somebody like Fundora say, hey, I'm going to grab my business by the horns. Oh, okay, cool. I might have 2 belts. But yeah, I'll let that one go to have one of the biggest fight I can in Dallas Stadium with Errol Spence on a comeback fight. That makes business sense. But we always know that when it comes down to it, just like this move that Shakur said, everybody who co-signed the move for Shakur, getting, you know, whatever he's getting for going over there to fight Cordina, I was happy for you. I'm glad. I hope he popped your cherry for putting up them them pom-poms for him. I hope he did. I hope he paid you something. I hope he did something, man. I hope he at least let you touch it. Hopefully. But I don't think he did. But everybody that co-signed that, I'm like, okay, cool, but that's not something that the fans should celebrate. The fans not getting what they want. We getting a fight that we don't mind seeing. And he's getting a huge payday. But that's not the fight. That's not the fight that fans wanted. So at the end of the day, this thing that Bud is doing, like this whole issue, like this whole thing where it's been ordered and all that, and it's politics, it's like, I'm not going to look at Fundora, and you seen him. He was in my intro, just like Bud as the closer. Fundora is called the landlord. Bud is called the closer. It is what it is if that fight go down. I don't think it's going to cross the finish line. And I wouldn't blame Fundora at all if he let that belt go and said, fuck it. Why? Because it's okay when Bud take his business in mind and everybody just campaigning for Bud to have the best resume in mind and to have this. It's okay to be a fan. But when you campaigning the fact that when your fighter do business, he railroads and fucks up everybody else that's on the opposing end, that's not sustainable. That's not sustainable. That's the whole message I've been painting this whole time when it came down to Turkey, S.I.C. And I was saying, man, who's your daddy? It's the same thing, man. It's the same question as to when I was saying who's making American boxing great again. Like, is he? No, he's not. If you ask me, he's missing the mark. Missing the mark, man. Like, just missing the mark. Like, utterly, grossly missing the mark on American boxing. And if, you know, one fighter is, until he, you know, rides off into the sunset and does what he does, until one fighter can just keep coming by and just disrupting business and the law and, you know, what's been going down and what makes logical sense, not just what your favorite fighter wants. Don't make me use that same, you know, parenting, child support thing. Don't make me use that same thing as an example, because once again, the child is the big fight. We don't get to see the big fight. That's what the child is. So as a fan, We're doing everything we're supposed to be doing. We're giving our money. We're supporting. We're saying we want to spend quality time. We just want to see the big fights, which is the baby. That's all we want to see. Baby mama saying, oh, no, you need to do this and you need to do that. And by the numbers, it don't justify all of that. But you still do what you're supposed to do as a fan. You're buying the pay-per-views. You're watching the fights. You're giving solid commentary, better than Al Jury and Malignaggi and Tim Bradley all wrapped up all in one. Better than all of that. You're still not seeing what you need to see? Come on, man. It is what it is. Bud getting ready to try to Jamel Herring this man, Fundora. And Fundora gonna be like, oh, okay, cool. Fuck that belt. And fuck your couch. That's what it's gonna be. And we're gonna have a whole lot of shows about how Fundora ducked and all that. And I'm be like, yep. I'm gonna be on here doing a duckology. I'm gonna say that's a strategic duck. Actually, even though Fundora is Mexican and he's this and that, by the classifications, that's you will call that a domestic duck. And he's not a diver. And I'm going to be able to classify exactly what kind of duck it was and make it make sense. And y'all ain't going to be able to say shit. Why? Because the move that Fundora make is going to make sense. And because Buzz is on this farewell tour to where they don't even give a fuck. As long as you got a belt, oh, you up there at that class and you got a belt, okay, I'll take you. They don't matter whether it's going to be competitive. It don't matter what. Like, as long as he get his accolade, as long as he get his bag, as long as he get his Canelo, it's a voice right now to where online. Because remember, I proved this about Devin Haney. It's a lot of people online that be talking about Bud Crawford online. Not as fans like myself. I'm talking about his only fans and all these new bandwagon fans and these D-riders. They'll be online saying certain things and having all this voice and all this pull, controlling all these chats. But then when the fight happened, ain't nobody buying it. The numbers ain't, you know what I'm saying? The numbers aren't, what you want to call it, admirable. I'll use admirable. The numbers aren't admirable when it comes to Bud. But they'll be online, man. They'll kick your back in all day. And that just be the hardcores. But I just wish that a lot of the sentiments that was expressed online in the numbers and the quantity, and not just people that just saying, putting on knee pads and wearing bibs and spraying that throat coat and wearing tonsil jewelry and all that shit. I just wish that if it was comparative to the amount of fans that actually bought the pay-per-views or actually filled the seats, I at least would have something to go by. But I'm a numbers guy. I deal with numbers. Fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. Not opinion based. This is fact-based content. All subscribers matter, man. If you don't know, subscribe to the channel, man. Support the channel, man. Like, this is not gonna get the congregation jumping for joy. I know. I'm a realist. It's not gonna get the congregation jumping for joy, but then again, I'm here to put the stakes in the ground and remind people what's going on, man. It's out there. I don't be one of the ones begging, man. I don't be one of the ones biting, man. I can show you some shit right now. I can show you some shit right now where motherfuckers be biting. What's good, bro? Drop the link. What's the split Bud would be getting? There you go. There you go. There go the link. There goes the link. It's time to smoke.
You hear me?
Yeah.
We was talking about the Fundora.
Yeah.
Versus Fundora, Bud.
Yep.
Like you were saying, bro. I mean, it really do make more sense to go ahead and fight Earl. If you're getting a better split and a bigger bag, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, Bud, that dude, pound for pound, but he just don't. I don't know. Maybe it's how he carry himself or something like that. He don't be getting the, the love he deserve to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the
the
thing.
star power.
Exactly. That's the thing. See, Bud deserves his credit and for what he do. And I think a lot of people that just try to keep it based on facts, they get misunderstood. Like a lot of us love what Bud's able to do inside the ring. Right. If you talk about a person like myself, I don't understand what he do outside the ring, but I do as a businessman. As a boxing fan, I don't. But as a businessman, I do. So my whole thing is whereas if I can understand that Bud is moving shrewd as a businessman for boxing, I have to understand the opponent's angle too. Like if I want to be fair and I'm gonna have an opinion, I'm gonna be out here vocal and talking about it, I gotta say that look, man, it'll be dumb as hell because Fundora and Spence, they had history. A lot of people done got drunk over the fact that Bud did what he did to Earl. Like I was a huge Earl fan.
Me too.
And I say this. I say that look, Earl in his condition, he had no business getting in the ring. I say that is not Bud's fault. I do not take anything away from Bud for doing what he's supposed to do because if you don't get in the ring and you not at 100, but you still decide to get your ass in the ring, that's not my fault.
Right.
So I look at it like, man, all praises to Bud and what he did, but like, we can't just shit on Earl when he came to the table with 3 straps.
Right.
But he built it through Jerry World, through Cowboy Stadium, and he had already had a history with Fundora. So now that he comes around to where Fundora is the guy, he got past Tim Tszyu. Whether you want to, people say people don't give Fundora credit, but I'm like, if you thought Fundora was winning up until them first 4 rounds, ain't nobody on the planet gonna argue with you. But that's why you got a whole team, and it's more than what you do in the ring, to where your team should have called that fight and you would have got a dub because it was within 4 rounds. You would have got the dub. They didn't do that. They let it go on. Fundora got himself back in the fights and he exploited the weakness. You can't blame that. So now I'm gonna try to strong arm this guy to where Fundora will be backed in the corner with an 80-20. And no, listen, not only an 80-20, but they would take an average. They would take an average Bud's last 3 fights, the compensation of his last 3 fights, to dictate what his income would be. And that's how Shakur was able to get what he was able to get against Jamel Herring. That's why I say this is Groundhog Day. And I said to anybody that would condone that as a boxing fan, you like, look, I just want to see the fight. Like, if you just a boxing fan, you just want to see Fundora fight Bud, you can be like, I don't give a fuck, Fundora duck. It's like, okay, cool. You go sit off to the side. We understand where you're coming from. But from Fundora's side, because we're not particular about persons, like we want the best for everybody. We want the way the business went to where the way I was raised, when it's good business, 2 parties shake hands and we both walk away satisfied. Not both parties walking away like, I really got that circle or I really raked him over the coals. So at the same time, Fundora be a fucking fool to fight Bud, get raped with an 80-20, and they average Bud's average last 3 paydays to dictate what he's allotted, and then make him take that fight where he could take a fight with Errol Spence on a comeback fight when everybody want to see Errol Spence come back down in Jerry World with a 70,000 crowd. It's a no-brainer. But the only fans that say, "Oh, he ducked." No, it's more to the story, homie. You feel me?
I rock with Fundora, and that's gonna be a tough fight for anybody. You know his style. So you can't take no 80-20. You going into a bloodbath like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't. You got to protect yourself because you're going to get the dangerous man. And that's what I be trying to say about the fans. It's like, hold on, man. If you're going against, we all say that Bud #1 P for P. If you're going in there with a killer like that, man, knowing that it ain't really no insurance plan, knowing that you get hit one time the wrong way, you might not be right for the rest of your life. Why is it okay for one boxer to be this shrewd businessman where he just steamrolling everybody? Because we know Bud the favorite, but like make it make sense business-wise, because otherwise you just campaigning for somebody to just take all the advantages, just steamroll everybody and just get nothing. Like, get peanuts when this is my big shot. Because
what you think about Bud fight against Madrimov?
I think that a lot of people are scared to say this, and I think that a lot of people keep saying it was just nothing but right hands, but when I look at it, Bud's right eye had a knot on it, so I'm like, it wasn't just right hands, it was a left too, because he was knotted up on the right side. And I'm like, anytime you talk about it, oh man, you just hating and pointing out. It's like, no, like this is what we actually saw. I'm like, I'm not trying to be in the good graces with everybody that's want to sing glowing praises. Like, we know I call Bud the closer in my boxes to watch. So I understand.
How you think he'll do at 154 against Fundora? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
because listen, they both prone to like to get their get back. That's one thing. But we always know that if you get a good shot on Bud will come right back and try to get his get back. Right. Fundora the same way. But I know that if you don't get Fundora in the early rounds, or you don't catch him slipping in the long haul, it don't look good for you. Because he's going to tenderize you. He's a volume puncher, and he's weird to where he like to come on the inside and just, he's old school with like an untypical frame. Because he'll get on the inside and want to just bang and uppercut you. Like, that's why I kept saying to Lubin. I kept saying, man, Lubin, get out of there, man. I said, man, get out. I said, stop.
You see his face?
Man, listen. This man got hit. I did a video right after I said this man hit Lubin with about 17 uppercuts in a row. Like 17 I don't care who you are. And you know when you got longer arms, because that's what Bud's strength is. People don't realize that when you got a longer arm and you coming with that force, we know if you work on cars, if you know about leverage and shit like that, like when you using tools, when you got them longer arms and you can grab, you can get some torque, that shit is more powerful.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know about the fight. I think that I think that Bud will make an adjustment, but I think that Bud is susceptible to sitting right there in the middle too, and I don't know how he's gonna adjust.
I think that fight with Earl, that's gonna be a tough one, man. That's gonna be a tough one. But nah, bro, I was just jumping in, man. You killing the show. You know, I was just jumping in. I wanted to ask you a few questions, bro.
I appreciate you. Don't sleep, man. Keep chiming in, man. Appreciate you for jumping on, man. Anytime.
For sure.
All right, brother. Yeah, man. Good brother, man. JDL boxing. What up, body work? Salute, JDL. There was one of them rounds when my Dreamer was teeing off on Crawford. Can't remember which round. It was probably around, I think it was probably around the 8th or the 9th. I think it was around the 8th or the 9th. But I'm like, man, you know, I've been making a joke out of it. But I've been saying, man, like lately, man, especially whenever it's a video about Bud, this is what it becomes. Sausage Party boxing talk. To where you can't critique his resume, You can't question this opponent at this point in time. It's just like, oh, you're just hating on Bud. I'm like, stop it. Stop it. We critique everybody else's resume. We critique everybody else's resume, but when it comes down to certain fighters, the minute you start critiquing theirs, people are like, oh man, stop it. It's just so much hate. Even if you hosting the show, you be like, it's hate. I don't get it. Yeah, that was a good round for Madrimov. I still thought Crawford won, though. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I still think that Crawford pulled it out. I'm not one of these people because I've here lately, I've been seeing a lot of people talking about they thought that Madrimov won. I'm like, don't get it twisted. I didn't have Madrimov winning. It's just that the standard of taking it from the champion, that becomes applicable depending on the favorite fighter, because I don't think that I had Bohachuk winning against Virgil Ortiz. I got Virgil Ortiz as there's the piranha in my boxes to watch. But I don't think that he beat Bohachuk. And in the grand scheme of things, Bohachuk had the title. So even if you want to judge it on did Virgil Ortiz do enough to take it from the champ, get knocked down twice, said that no, he did not. Because he never knocked, he might have buzzed the champ, but he didn't get knocked down twice. People discounted some of the knockouts. Oh, that was just a flash knockout. People started qualifying knockouts at that point in time. And I said, man, come on, man. The integrity of the sport is dying, man. It can't be based on who you like. It got to be based on the rules and what our eyeballs see. In order for us to keep on with this thing that we love called boxing, man. Now, I thought Ortiz lost that fight. Me too. That's what I just said. I thought he did too. I don't even think it was like, to me, it wasn't really like arguable. It really wasn't even debatable. But with the politics of boxing, just like when Ngannou fought Fury, and Ngannou really beat Fury, and when Du Bois really stopped Usyk with a body shot that was not a low blow, he was out of there. It was the politics of boxing. Because ultimately, there's more money in Ortiz fighting Bud than it is Bohachuk fighting Bud or Bohachuk fighting Madrimov. That's just the reality of the game. And in the grand scheme of things, I think we all got to start asking ourselves whether or not these guys are making American boxing great again. When you look at the fights, the judges, like the rendered judgments, the fights that are happening, and everything that's going on, you can put up a strong argument. I know this ain't the topic or title of this live, but do you think Berlanga has a chance at all versus Canelo? I want to know your assessment on that, if you will. Listen, I respect Berlanga. I do know that Berlanga's only chance is for him to be able to apply pressure and impose his will and inflict damage on Canelo early. I know that he must be in 15-round condition. I say fuck it. He need to be in 17-round shape. He need to be in 17-round shape. He need to be able to move forward, apply pressure, hit Canelo. He need to be able to take what Canelo gives him, bang on Canelo, and avoid, and be able to avoid the least amount of contact from Canelo. He needs to be able to maintain his stamina and his strength till after like the 7th round. And if he has anything less left in the tank after that, he needs to jump on Canelo. 7th, 8th, 9th round, jump on Canelo. Why? Why is that my strategy for Berlanga? Because Berlanga can punch. You know what I'm saying? I like to think that Berlanga has a chin. I just think that his IQ is that to where if he get in there and he start thinking he can box with Canelo and Canelo have him second guessing whether it's body or head, left or right, if he's going to feint or not, and you know he gets to having him react to everything Canelo's doing. If he get him in that game to where he's actually boxing him, I'm not sure if Berlanga's IQ is strong enough to be able to adapt IQ-wise to what Canelo is doing. Because believe me, Canelo is going to have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. I think Bivol taught him that. I think Bivol showed him that he's going to have a plan B. Might be the first time he has to employ it because he do have to be careful, but I think he held up Munguia, man. I think he carried Munguia. He could have stopped Munguia. It was rounds when I said he should have got rid of Munguia. He carried him. He held him up. He basically was saying, listen, and I think that it's one of them things to where he thought that, well, if Munguia can go on and say that he lasted 12 rounds with Canelo Alvarez and he didn't get stopped, it's not as bad as getting knocked out. So he kind of left him hope. So if it's up to Munguia now to where his next opponent, he got to go up and show out. And depending on how they match make him, they going to get him a knockout on his next one out. Probably going to be a notable name, somebody they catch early or whatever. And they're going to try to make it go on with Munguia being this star based on his fight with Canelo. But Canelo carried him. I don't think Canelo is going to try to carry Berlanga. I think that once he see that he can get Berlanga out of there or he can get Berlanga frustrated, he's going to go ahead and step on the gas and go to Berlanga's body. You know what I'm saying? He's going to go to his body. And then he's going to catch him to the head. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think is going to happen. It's going to be a war of attrition, but it'll probably happen in about the 7th round. LOL, yeah, I think the same thing, body work. He has to crush Canelo, you feel me? Yeah, he got to crush him. Like, Berlanga got to come with that shit. Like, Berlanga got to come like, listen, man. Like, that Brian Norman, like the way Brian Norman talking and acting, Berlanga got to come with that. Like, look, I'm coming to kick in the door. I ain't taking no prisoners, man. Fuck that. Get your hands up. I'm kicking in the door. I'm busting out your front teeth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm giving it to you. I'm busting you open. He got to come with that, man. Impress Canelo. Because I don't think IQ-wise and boxing-wise, the stick and move shit, I don't think that his IQ is on a level where he can do that. Because Canelo will just feint, body shot. Feint, head shot. Feint, body shot. And, like, he'll just play that body, head, left, right game and put that mental pressure on Berlanga. And if his conditioning ain't right, he'll break him down like he did Caleb Plant. Even though I think Berlanga probably hit harder than Caleb Plant. And he needs to crush the body. I never seen anyone really attack Canelo's body. He got to go to the body. Because his jab is not educated enough to do what Bivol did. See, Bivol is a sweet scientist. Bivol is the same reason why I don't even see Beterbiev beating Bivol, because Bivol is a sweet scientist, brother. Bivol is so skilled that a lot of people, he's going to be another one like Tank to where people don't recognize his skill set until he hang him up. They're going to be studying what Bivol was able to do his whole career, just like they're going to be studying Tank. They're going to be studying it just the same way, man. People underappreciate Bivol because he's not this knockout artist, except for he's able to get his point across and he's able to show a difference, even though he does not create that knockout. But you don't get bored watching what he's doing because you're still trying to figure like, well, damn, how the whole fight you like, damn, how is he able to do this? So he keeps you engaged enough to where you want to look at it and watch it the whole time. digesting it, he might not get the knockout, but when you walk away, you be like, damn, man, he handled him, man. Like, he boxed his ears off. Like, Bivol is nice, man. Bivol is nice. Bivol is nice. And Bivol, he just had his IQ to help him beat Canelo. It was IQ with Bivol. It wasn't just being bigger. You know what I'm saying? Because we can argue strength, even though I think that Bivol was probably stronger because he's naturally 75. Like, Canelo is not natural. He's not natural up there. He's not natural. I don't even know if he's natural 68. I just think he's been campaigning there. And he kind of grew into it. But that's my take, JDL. Yeah, Bivol won me money that night. Yeah, man. Bivol was the money maker, man. Hey, look. Tank, Bivol, Inouye, bam. Tank, Inouye, Bivol, bam. If you can't make money off of them, something is wrong with you, man. I'm not gonna charge you nothing for that, man. Don't give me no super chat or nothing for that, man. But Tank, Inouye, bam, Bivol. You can't lose money if you know how to bet with them guys, man. I ain't gonna charge you nothing for that, man. I'm not gonna ask you to hit the Cash App. I'm not gonna ask you to super chat or nothing. But Tank, Inouye, Bivol, and bam. You cannot miss money with them. Yeah, I don't think Canelo is a natural 160. I think he 160 is max. Yeah. Between that and then, you know, these guys will be talking. That's how it'd be funny how certain people, when you really get to interview with certain boxers, they be like, oh, no, man, they gave me that fight, man. They wanted me to do that on a 4-week notice. It's like they be keeping tabs. So when you really see it, man, like some of your favorite fighters are cat. Some of your favorite fighters are because they will wait, they will send short notices, 5 weeks. For like you be like, man, hold on, that's not killer behavior. So in the grand scheme of things, we be getting gypped either way, man. But I understand, man. It's just like Gladiator. Remember on Gladiator where, remember on the Gladiator, I'll probably drop off with this since nobody else want to jump on or whatever. Thank you, Bodywork. I'm broke as hell. I would send you some bread. Just fucking with me. I just don't got it now. I understand, JDL. I appreciate the support. I know how it is, brother. It ain't about that, man. I appreciate you being here and being real, man. If I ever lose my mind, put me back in place, man. Don't let me jump off the cliff. Don't let me just start smelling my own shit and thinking that, you know what I'm saying, I'm just the biggest baddest. Can't nobody tell me this, and I don't know shit about boxing. Just be around and just pull my coattail and say, hey, man, hold on, let me talk to you. And be willing to get up here and explain to me where I'm wrong. Don't be like these other cats where they always hindsight is 2020 or Monday morning quarterbacks, and they know this and they know that, but all they do is infuse drama. Don't do that. But I salute, man. I appreciate you, JDL, just for chiming in, man. It ain't about that. It ain't about that, man. I just ask that everybody be responsible, man. Let's be responsible in boxing, man. Let's be accountable in boxing, man. Let's put our favorite fighters up on the same scale, man. You know what I'm saying? If we put them all up on the same scale, but see, that'd be the problem that get me, man, because on these big channels, man, they can flip, flop, man. They like, I'm not even gonna get into how they steal your shit. Like I got a major channel, man. He just stealing my shit, man. But the autopsy is coming. The autopsy is coming, man. I'm gonna have to do the autopsy, man. Cause I'm not just gonna kill you. I'm gonna perform an autopsy online. Like when I finally when you really make me point out all these things that you're doing, that I'm doing, and you really make me do the roadmap to it with dates and times, because I've already started, and I just say, you know what, I'm not going to do it because they're going to think that I'm doing some battle rap shit to where I just want to diss to get on. But I've just seen it enough to where you've been doing it so much to where you just getting like them serial killers, man. You just getting carried away with yourself, man. You think you would just serial kill. You think you can do me like Jay did the Young Guns? You think you could do me like Jay did Beanie? I ain't going out like that. I'm not gonna do it. Give me a little bit of time to go ahead and spread your wings and fly right, but it's not aging to where every day I do some shit, the next day you do some shit, and my DNA all in your shit. That's just a public announcement. Public announcement, man. Public announcement, man. It's crazy when you go away and you don't watch some motherfucker for like 2 months and you come back and you're like, damn, my DNA all in that shit. Eureka, baby. All subscribers matter, man. Share it. Hey, look. Share the channel to your homeboys. All subscribers matter, man. We don't get down. We don't do particulars. I don't give a fuck who your favorite fighter is. Who my favorite fighter is facts plus tax. Nothing more than that. We keep it 10 times 10. Because ain't nothing more than that. We talk that boxing. All right, we're going into the second hour then. We're going into the open boxing talk. Let's see. You hear about Haney possibly fighting Paro? Yeah, I heard about it, man. I don't like it. I don't like it, JD. I mean, you was around. I think you was around when I was doing the whole Sabril Matias segment. And I remember when I was saying that I thought it was odd that Eddie Hearn, with the whole 5-fight deal, how Devin Haney wasn't promised in any of those. You don't find it odd that Devin Haney, remember how when David Benavidez, remember when he lost his strap? When David Benavidez lost his strap to, you know, the weight, and when David Benavidez lost his strap to the cocaine, you remember when that happened? Right? Like, he came back and he wanted his seat again. Like, if I go, listen, JDL, if you go to the bathroom right now, if you was at a restaurant with your lady, man, and then when you came back, somebody was sitting in your seat, brother, and you want to tap their brother and on the shoulder and be like, hey, man, you sitting in my seat? That's what David Benavidez did. He tapped Canelo on the shoulder and was like, hey, man, this is my seat. Regardless what happened, man, I had to go move my car. They said my car was getting ready to get towed. Yeah, I lost my spot. Went out there, I moved my car. Okay, cool. I had to go to the bathroom the second time. Okay, cool. I done spent my time. I done endured my time. I want my seat back, brother. Canelo wouldn't give him that opportunity. And they say he clout chasing. But guess what? Devin Haney lost to a C-class fighter. He said he was C-class and he was going to get Ryan out of the sport of boxing. We got to admit that Ryan cheated. And I don't get into the percentages and all that because depending on who you want to depending on who you want to support, you're going to have your picks. And who am I to disagree with that? But we seen Devin get knocked on his ass back, and he was looking real sad. And after that, he got his loss back. But when Alberto Puello fought Gary Antoine Russell and won, he didn't want his seat back. And that's whack. I don't know. So I'm like, hold on, man. Like, why you don't want your seat back? Why? Because Puello looking like an ass whooping. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I think if you can go back and look at my assessment for Gary Antoine Russell and Alberto Puello. Go back and look at my assessment video on that fight, and then tell me that Alberto Puello ain't the man at 140, man. I think he is the man, man. You got to go back and look at his fights. Go back and look at him against what's his name, Makhmudov, and go back and look at him against Makhmudov, and then go look at Makhmudov against who was that? Kenny Sims. Go back and look at him against Kenny Sims. So I'm thinking, hold on, why? Okay, so from my perspective as a Subriel Matias fan, I said, hold on, how come Subriel Matias got put in a position to where all he got to do is face defenses, and there was no Devin Haney on the hook, there was no Richardson Hitchinson on the hook. We got a promise of a Regis Prograis. We got a promise of a who else? I can't even remember. But Devin Haney wasn't on the menu. So it's real odd that Devin Haney get to come back and get Liam Paro off the rip. And he don't want his seat back with Alberto Puello. And he don't want to interfere with Sandor Martin, which means that he really never wanted to smoke. And we got to drop the whole pound for pound talk when they come around Devin, man. That's not pound for pound behavior. I don't give a fuck if you want to get your feet wet or not. But if you take my seat when I go to the bathroom, I don't give a fuck if you could be 6'7", 280 pounds. We're gonna figure out a way to try to fuck you up. What's going on, JDL?
What up, dog? I gotta come on here. I'm not texting on this shit. I'd rather talk. I appreciate you putting out the link for everybody.
It's all good. Go ahead, man. Cook, man.
No, go ahead. I was listening to what you were saying. I was just wanting to go back and forth on what you were saying. But when I clicked the link, it cut out. I didn't hear everything you were saying though.
Oh.
But yeah, as far as like Ryan, like when you were saying the whole thing with Devin Haney, what happened with him and Ryan, he didn't even want his seat back and all that. I heard that part, and then I missed out on everything else.
Yeah, basically what I was saying is that traditionally, if I go to the bathroom and I come back and somebody's sitting in my seat, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be the courteous, like, hey man,
shit, I ain't even doing that, bro. I'm gonna throw his ass off the seat.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah,
it's got, you know, I want basically, but we both, whether how aggressive or how passive, how we all about it, we both want our seat back, right?
Yeah.
I just find it odd that Puello is sitting in his seat and he don't want his seat back. But then Eddie set him up to go fight Paro off the rip, who Paro just took it off of Subriel. And I'm like, it created a lot of questions to where I'm like, well, okay, hold on. How come Subriel don't got a rematch? Because I said my biggest fear for Subriel was that all he get is defenses. I said, why he don't get an opportunity to unify? And I was like, why wasn't Devin, who was your main prescriber, why wasn't he in the deal guaranteed off the rip? So Subriel got no guarantees.
He got shafted.
Devin,
Subriel got shafted, I feel like.
Exactly.
Yeah, he got shafted. I thought he should at least get the rematch. I mean, Paro beat him, but I mean it was still a good fight. You know what I mean?
It was still a good fight. It was a close fight. It didn't look like,
it was
regardless of what you want to say about Ryan and Devin, it wasn't that close.
Devin got his ass whooped.
Yeah.
Devin got whooped. He straight up got whooped. But if I was Devin, see, this is me. I can't think for other fighters, but I have a problem with thinking like, shit, if I was Devin, I get my get back. I'd be like, we get an immediate rematch. But
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Devin ain't even do that. He sounded like a little bitch. He was like, nah, I don't even care about the rematch. Man, that man got, man. For someone to get their ass whooped that bad and not want the rematch, that don't sound like Devin. Like, not the Devin that's been talking. You know what I mean?
But think about it. If when you was think about it, he was undisputed at 35. He moved up under the WBC, which was his linchpin from 35 to 40. Somebody's sitting in your seat. Why are you not hearing from the big channels? Why are you not hearing? I ain't gonna say no name, but why are you not hearing from the big channels as to why he don't want his seat back? It is okay for him to go over and challenge Pyro now. Huh?
Technically, technically, Ryan Garcia didn't even fight him at super lightweight. He fought him pretty much as a middleweight, or not a middleweight, a welterweight. He missed weight, so he didn't have to lose his belt. But he didn't even. He got beat up so badly he didn't even want to. He didn't even want to keep his title. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Okay. That's what I'm saying. So JDL. So listen. Okay. So the fight took place. We saw what we saw, and then the judgment was rendered. So where that was scraped from his record, and they put him in recess. My question is, if your linchpin from 135 to 140 was the WBC, and it's a new champion, why do you not want to prove that was your seat? Like, why do you not want your seat? Why is it okay for you to go over to the IBF now to challenge Pyro when you wasn't like that when it came to Matias?
Well, yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know if he petitioned for it, but I think Eddie Hearn put it on the plate for him or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not gonna act like I know. But I think it was something like that.
But tell me as a fan. I'm telling you I'm asking you as a fan. Like, look, if they put you, listen, JDL, you are the champion of WBC, right? And because of whatever, you went out and you got in a car accident. Like, let's just say we're not even gonna say a car accident. Let's just say you had something that took you away from the sport for a little while, and we said, look, we ain't just gonna strike you from the record like you don't got no precedence. You still our champ. We're just gonna give our belt to this guy until you come back. Why, when you come back, you say, all right, I'm ready to fight? Why are you going over to the IBF instead of coming back to us, who we reserved your spot? You understand what I'm saying?
I don't know. Shit, I don't know.
Exactly, B.
So is the WBC vacant?
No. Alberto Puello, who beat Gary Antoine Russell, got it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So he's going to fight Sandor. So don't you find it convenient? Hold on. So don't you find it convenient that Puello? Listen. Don't you find it convenient that Puello is going to fight Sandor Martin, and then the winner of that, Gary Antoine Russell, might get a rematch to be able to see it because him and Puello fought for it? Don't you find it odd that now Puello is going to fight Sandor Martin, who took the step aside for Regis and Devin to fight, but when Devin coming back, he don't want his spot right there where they said we're going to put you in the interim. He's going over to the IBF where Pyro faced Matias, but he didn't want Matias, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because it's the wrong styles for him. See, the way they be moving, I always thought this about Devin. Like, the way they move, they pick certain fighters. It's kind of like what Canelo does. He picks the right opponents. And, in order to look good, he just ain't pick Ryan Garcia because he wanted the bag. He wanted that money. But I even said my videos that I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan beat him because of the way they fight. You know what I'm saying? Power and speed is all wrong for Haney. Anybody who possesses power and speed is a nightmare for Devin because of the way he fights. Because he's scared to get hit. You know what I mean? He's not, to me, he's a great boxer. He could stay in the outside, but he can't fight in the inside. He's not a good inside fighter. So that's why he moves the way he moves. He don't want Matias because Matias is gonna eat him up.
Yeah.
Now
Inside to
Pyro,
mid-range, she gonna eat him up.
yeah, that he gonna eat him up, and then you got Pyro. I think Pyro will eat him up, but the thing is, it'll look better against Pyro because Pyro's gonna try to box as well. You know what I mean? So it's a better style matchup for Haney.
Yeah, they saying
You
that
feel me?
yeah, they saying that in sparring, they saying that Devin broke his orbital bone or something. They put out something a couple weeks ago. Yeah, against Pyro.
Oh,
So he kind of
so
feel
he broke
confident against
Pyro's or he
Pyro.
broke?
Yeah, he broke Pyro's in sparring.
Oh, okay.
That's what the rumor is.
Shit
You know what I'm
happens in
saying?
sparring, bro.
Yeah, I know. I don't put much
Yeah.
into it, but I think that's what the confidence is. I'm just saying that if these people represented me to where they say, hey, we're gonna hold your seat, man. You got the resident, whoever got it, you got first dibs at it. I want to come back and get right at that and then unify. I don't want to move off to the side and not fight Sandor Martin, who I thought was gonna be a tough test, to go see somebody who I'm confident in because I beat him up in sparring. Now, that could be a false confidence, and we don't know where he's at. I just think that that's odd behavior, and I think that if my favorite fighter was moving like that, people would be calling them bullshit, and I wouldn't be able to defend them for it.
Yeah, but it is a better fight. Even Sandor Martin is a better fight for Haney, but I could see if he was to fight Gary Antoine Russell, that's a different story because you know Gary likes to get dirty in there. So
hey, but what do you think about people discounting Gary just because he lost on the decision to Puello? Like he wasn't feared like Matias.
That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. Just like Matias lost to Pyro, that don't mean nothing.
But you see how they threw Matias away? What's your take on how they've been treating Matias?
Nobody want to talk about Matias now. That shit's like silent now. It's funny as shit. I still rock with Matias. I still think, I said it, but I still think Matias will beat everybody else at 140. I still think that. Like, just based on the styles. Like Pyro, I said Pyro, I gave him all his props. You know what I mean? I said from the get-go it's going to be a hard fight for Matias, but I was still, you know, I just got to say it on here. I did go for Matias. I thought Matias would stop him, but, you know, I was wrong.
Yeah, but what do you think? What do you think lost him that fight?
Hold on. Say it again. You cut out.
What do you think lost Matias the Pyro fight? What do you think what caused the loss?
Well, what I think the reason why he lost is he just didn't do enough. The first thing he didn't do enough, but what really lost him the fight is letting Pyro do what he did. You know what I'm saying? Because usually he won't do that. He won't let people just push him. You know what I'm saying? He don't fight that way. And he fought stronger. I mean, I'm not saying Pyro's not a strong fighter. He's a smart fighter. But what he was doing, Matias in the past has done against stronger opponents.
Right.
You know what I mean? Better than, like, he didn't let him push. He was active in there, you know. But maybe Pyro hit him with that left hand in the first round, and maybe that changed the fight. I mean, it could be anything. But the thing is, Matias wasn't aggressive like he usually is. He was too comfortable. You know, that's what I saw. He was comfortable. He was always like happy, you know.
Yeah.
He just seemed, that's how he seemed, too calm, too careless. There we go. That's the word, careless. And, and the way careless is his flaw. That's his flaw.
The way I put it is, man, I think that it being his hometown fight and all them lights being on and all the dance before and all of the festivities, it was almost like it's my party, and I'm a, you know what I'm saying, I'm a rock out and I'm a dance and I think that he might have exerted more energy because Regis Prograis talked about this when he fought Zorilla. He's like, when he fought Zorilla going home in Louisiana, now that's just Louisiana, that's the boot. But he talked about it. He said, man, just people hit me up for tickets and people just contacted me and he was like, it took away so much of my attention and diverted so much of my energy there. He's like, I didn't realize that was going to affect me. And I don't take away. So this is the boxing. I'm going to be real with you. Boxing people cannot do this. They can't do what I'm about to do. I am not taking away from Paro. Paro did exactly what he did. I think that Paro won because he outworked him. Yeah, what I am speaking to right now in a vacuum is that Subriel Matias, I think that the hometown thing, he blew his load. I think that he wasn't. I think he got tired because he got gas. I ain't never seen Matias gas like that. I ain't never seen Matias be able to let somebody hold on him without throwing them little fly swatter hooks. You know what I'm saying? That he do to really like irritate you, and you know what I'm saying, and inflict damage on you. That constant chipping away. He didn't have that extra.
He didn't do that, and he didn't even have the same. Yeah, he didn't even have the same power. Not even in the first, like in the beginning of the fight, which was odd to me. Like, but the thing is, you know, I didn't mention this on one of my videos, and I don't like to mention it, but the rumor is the night before he was partying.
I can imagine though.
That's the rumor. He was partying.
Listen. I can imagine. Listen, think about it, man.
Hey. Hold on. I like to throw this out. When I used to fight, bro, we used to fucking like a night before. I mean, me and other fighters, bro, get drunk as fuck and then have a fight the next day. You know what I'm saying? People did that shit.
I know. Like, I was in the Army. I knew. Shit, we used to go and the night before we had like I was in air assault training, man. Getting I remember damn near drinking a half a gallon of Smirnoff before air assault training. So early in the morning, almost 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm up on the top of a tower getting ready to rappel, smelling like a half a gallon of Smirnoff. Like I know, like when I was younger in the Army, I know how it was. So I can imagine, like you in your backyard, they put it in Puerto Rico. This is your time to shine. You defending your belt. You know, you got a guy coming in, you got all these entertainers and all this stuff and all this pressure. I get it, but it happens and it shows another fight.
And another thing too, I give Subriel Matias credit because he didn't say a word about that shit.
He didn't.
He didn't say a word about it.
But the same reason why I respect Subriel is the same reason why I don't respect everybody else, because it was another popular channel that was biting my shit, taking my shit, asking him questions based on the shit that I was saying in these videos, and when it was all said and done, he wasn't there really to pick up the pieces and really like usher it in to keep it going and to keep track of everything, because once he lost, what do we hear? We got one little after video and where Subriel Matias said, look, I'm not a man of excuses, so I ain't gonna make none. He did a little press run. I heard he split from Panda, which is my next video, but I wanted to get more information. And then we ain't heard nothing from this content creator who was putting out all this information about him, getting these interviews about him. He jumped ship.
You know another thing too. You know how I know Matias ain't sweating, like he ain't sweating it. The reason why he ain't sweating it, because I think he knows for sure he could beat. I mean, I hate fucking saying shit like this. He could beat Paro. I mean, I know he could beat Paro. He can beat Paro. But I mean, obviously he didn't that night. Paro did his thing, but Paro ain't a person to be slept on, because I think Paro can beat probably most of them guys right now. I mean, I think Tio could beat him, but you got to be explosive like Tio in that weight class. I mean, who else do you think could beat Paro right now at the top, like with a belt?
I think Pueblo can beat him.
You think Pueblo could beat him?
Hell yeah.
It's possible.
You got to go back. You got to go back and look at Pueblo and how he boxed. Like
that's
the dude is like,
that's the only fight I ever seen him fight.
They listen at like 5'9". I think they listen at 5'9". This dude got to be like 6 feet. The wingspan got to be damn near Bud's. and he know how to use his feet. Like when you go back and look at him, he pulled a Houdini on Gary Antoine.
Bro,
he was
yeah, when I watched that,
he
when I watched
and
that
pivoted
fight,
out.
Well, yeah, when I watched that fight, I was like, bruh, I was like, Gary is losing this fight.
Yes.
Like
it wasn't
he
close,
was pretty
bro.
nice.
Like it wasn't even to me at the end. It wasn't, and Gary Antoine is my man. You know, I pushed for him just like he in the intro, just like everybody. He's from the crib, but I gotta keep it real. I'm like, it was not like to me the same way, just like I rock with Sabril. When I looked at that fight, it wasn't like Sabril was on the verge of knocking him out. I mean, Poirot was on the verge of knocking him out, but I was like, man, it wasn't close. That fight wasn't close, and Sabril didn't make it close. And when I look at the Puello and Gary, the shit wasn't close. Like I don't know what people were debating and crying about. I don't know either. Even the body shot, like when he cried about the body, I'm like, that was a legal blow. That was one step below the Dubois and Usyk thing. I'm like, they did Dubois wrong, but that was one step below that.
Yeah, well, sometimes, bro, I don't know about some of these calls, man.
It's like, politics, brother.
Yeah, I don't know about some of these calls. Like when they announce the winner, you're just like, what? What?
It's the politics. Like Ortiz. What do you think about Ortiz and Boacek before we go? I
thought Ortiz lost. Like,
exactly.
I thought he lost.
Exactly, and that's not hate. But see, in today's day and time, you say that on the wrong channel, on the wrong platform. Oh man, the Virgil Ortiz is hate. Yeah, the Virgil Ortiz hate is just unreal, and I'm just like, man, hold on, man. Listen, man, it is what it is. Ortiz, one of my guys. He lost.
He lost, yeah, straight up. Just like I said, or you know, Subriel's my guy, but he lost, bro. I had an 8-4.
He lost.
Like, he lost.
That's just it, man. Like we ain't gonna cap.
And another thing, damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, the Pitbull Cruise. How the fuck did they have it a split?
I don't know.
To you, like, what do you think, bro? I thought Venezuela won, bro. Like
exactly.
Down. Like
it was handled. It wasn't that. Listen, that was not close. But see, but listen, it's the same thing, brother. The politics because they want. It was so much equity in Cruz getting the shot at Tank, and that's what everybody wanted because it's the money. It's going to paint this. It's going to give him. That's what it was. But why you won that handily? That was not, and there was no argument in that fight, man.
That won't be some money too.
he got caught. Listen. Ryu got caught a couple times, but that was not enough to win the fight. Like he boxed the same. Like if you go back and look at my prediction on it, I did an upset video on it, and I did a prediction on it, and I called it down to T. I said, listen. If he don't engage in the brawl, which he did a couple times, but he was disciplined enough to get back and do what he needed to do. Turn, pivot, use his jab, time him, get off the line. Everything I said he did, man. He boxed that fight beautifully, man. I was so proud of Ryu. You know what I'm saying? But like, but politics, if you get on the wrong platform and say what happened really happened, they're gonna say, "Oh man, you just hating on Pitbull and you just a
fought,
fan."
Yeah, you're right. And he fought in the inside when he needed to as well. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he clearly won. Like clearly,
it was clear.
Yeah, it was clear win.
All three of them fights we talked about, it was clear. Regardless who you was going for. Like, that's how I am. Regardless who you going for or whatever, I'm not going to bullshit you on what my eyes saw. I could want my man to win. I could want my man to win so bad. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. You got your ass whooped, bro. Like, but he handled you. You know what I'm saying? That's how I was on the street. I'm like, nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got them 2 punches in him. I'm like, but bro, kind of, he just like, peace. It's all good. You still my brother, but you got peace.
Yeah, he peace. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And now they're talking about Pitbull Cruz and Matias. Like, honestly, I'm not even interested in that. I mean, maybe it'll be a good fight, but I don't think it does anything for Matias. I think Matias needs to focus on all the big fights, and I ain't even interested in the Regis fight. To me, that's me though.
Well, Only reason why I would say they would make the pit bull fight is because of the demographics, and they can pit the whole Puerto Rican is Mexico. That's like how they're trying to. That's how they try to position this Canelo fight, and I'm like, man, this is not that. Like you can make it that if you want to, but organically, this is not that. This is not Trinidad versus De La Hoya. This is not that. So you can kind of build it like that and kind of get some sales, but that'll be trying to build off or capitalize off of the Pitbull fans and then cater to the Subriel fans. But I that's no contest, man. Subriel gonna beat the shit out of Pitbull, man.
I think he is too.
He might be the first one, which might be good. He might be the first one to crack that chin so many times that he just fold. You know what I'm saying? Because people got a chin.
I think it'll look like what's that dude? The one that beat him once. Damn, I can't say his. No, not Ergashev. The one that beat Matias.
Dadashev?
No, that's not Dadashev. It starts with an A. A nine yen. Yeah, Ananyan beat him once, and then Matias came back and knocked him out. But that dude, like, he took a beating, bro. 9 rounds of straight ass whooping, and then he finally got knocked out.
But I kind of think Paro's the only one. Well, I think he suffered some damage. He didn't take a beating like everybody else, but everybody fighting Matias take a beating. That's why ain't nobody saying his name, because even if you win, you lose.
Yeah, you're gonna get your ass whooped. Like, and the thing is, a lot of the fucking dudes on that's famous. What's the word I'm looking for? Not famous. Obviously they're famous, but like, you know, the names like Tio, Haney, fucking who else am I missing? I can't think off the top right now. Anyway, you know what I mean. All the guys that are on top, like the top guys.
Yeah,
but it be the guys that you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? That could actually fight, because those guys that are on top can't fight a fight like them other guys that fought with Matias. They ain't built for that. You know what I mean? That's my assessment on that.
Yeah, hey man, between me and you, and everybody gonna come on board with this later. They probably gonna bite this shit. But 140 is perhaps the most deepest division in boxing, brother.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Because you got
listen,
you got Kenny Sims Jr., you got a guy named Tito Mercado, which I think is the future. And you got you even got Virgil, you got Jermaine Ortiz at 140, to where you throw them in there, you throw in a Elvis Rodriguez with the wrong person, Gary Antoine Russell. I don't care what you say. Like, most of the guys, unless you can box behind the jab and you like a technical boxer puncher, you ain't gonna be able to get past them. Like Devin Haney ain't gonna get past them. You know, but 140 is perhaps the most deepest division in the game. But yeah, you dropped out for a second. Let me see.
Yo.
Yeah.
I lost you there. I can't hear you.
A little
right
bit,
now.
like
I don't know if you can hear me.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yo. Yo.
Can you hear me?
You hear me?
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
I lost you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I live in the sticks, bro, out here in Tennessee, so
it's all good.
So it's probably my connection. But what you were saying, damn, I don't remember what you were saying. Something about you were talking about Gary Antoine Russell, and then you went in.
I was basically saying that 140 is perhaps the deepest division in the game right now. That's why I called it the row. I said because you got people like Kitty Sims Jr., you got a young guy named Tito Mercado, and you got Jermaine Ortiz, to where you put them in there with anybody you name in the division, and it could be a bad night for anybody. And then you got to consider that Elvis Rodriguez is there, and nobody wanted to fight Gary Antoine Russell. Devin went to 140. He was supposed to be getting it on with Gary Antoine Russell because of the history between Mr. Gary Russell and Devin Haney. He never mentioned his name. Like you can never hear him calling him out saying, "Hey, we can fight, we can do this, we can do that." And that's why I find it odd that if he came back, he was going to have to fight whoever had the belt after Puello fought Sandor Martin, and the winner was on deck to fight Gary Antoine. Like that's like to fight Puello, Gary Antoine, or Sandor Martin. Devin Haney was like, all right, fuck that. I'll take my chances with Paro. Like that says a lot, brother. When that's already your spot.
Hey, Paro might put his ass to sleep though.
Hey, he might.
Paro still, Paro. I mean, I wanted to get into that. IBF, he ain't gonna do too good anyway because he got the 10-pound rehydration.
Exactly. That's why it really don't make sense. But they saying he's trying to make it seem like he's trying to petition for it to be a unification. It's like, no, by the rules, you got to come back and defend that. You got to come back and dethrone whoever in that seat before you can do that. But that's the politics, and that lets you know, man, and people that co-sign and pull for that lets you know that, like I was saying in the beginning with that example I gave, you're not for the child. You're for whatever side you're pulling, the mama or the daddy, and you're not for the child, which is the big fight.
He ain't for the all comers,
right?
He ain't for all comers.
You're not for that.
And like I said, Gary's the wrong style for Haney.
Exactly,
it's the wrong style for him. And I'm not saying, look, I like Gary Antoine Russell, but I didn't think. I mean, in my opinion, I don't think he's ready for Matias. But I feel like he can fight somebody like Tio and look good against Tio. No, not Tio. Tio's. See, I give respect to Tio because he's got a different style, and I respect his style, but I don't respect the way he moves. You feel me? Like I don't like the way he be talking and shit.
That's how I am. I feel the exact same way. It's like I rock with Theo, but I'm like, man, I can't rock with the shit you be saying, dog. Like
in the ring, he's. I mean, I gotta respect him, and you know, I believe I'm one of them people that believe styles do make fights, and that's a good fight with Gary Antoine Russell and Theo. That's a good fight. I think that's a real good fight. But a person like Haney, and I ain't taking nothing away from Haney. You know, Haney could fight his ass off, but stylistically, it's the wrong fight. Him and Gary Antoine Russell. That's the wrong fight for Haney. Like I see Haney losing that. I think Gary will stop him. In my opinion.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think Gary will stop him. I think, I think I sounded crazy on one of my old videos. I made a video a year ago. I think Tio will stop him. You know? And I don't think Tio's the heaviest puncher either, but he is a damn good puncher. You know?
It's a reason why they dance all around that fight, and it's crazy how they're both available, but nobody's talking about that.
I think Tio was trying to make the most money out of that fight. Is why I think he did that whole shit at 135 and try to fight Kambosos because he knew him and Haney would be more money. You know what I mean? Because they be moving like that sometimes.
Yeah. But I'm saying, let's fast forward to now.
My bad. All
right, we understand that. But let's fast forward to now where they're both free. Why you think that fight not happening?
I don't know. I think is Haney.
Exactly.
I think it's Haney.
Exactly. Like and
Haney's
exactly.
scared.
And see, I like when other people present these things because they don't seem like I'm pushing a narrative because everybody can see. If you looking at all the pieces and you looking at, oh, you in a mess hall with your chest out, you beating your chest, you saying I'm the best, I'm the face of boxing. It's like the behavior don't match, man. Like what's so long? What's taking so long with Tia?
Look, I don't even know what's up with Tio either. Cause Tio, I feel like Tio should be fighting them dudes right now, like all them dudes, but he's not.
I think
you know what I mean. I don't like to. My bad. I was gonna say I don't like to get into all that politics because I truly don't know. All it is, I watch these videos and I mean I can't believe every word they say. I'm the type of dude that waits for the fight to happen or the paperwork to be all signed, all said and done. Then I'll make my assessment.
Yeah,
you know I mean?
I kind of do that too as far as the news and once I cinch out something that's official. But to me, what I think is this. I think that T.O. is at a point to where, rightfully so, he has a gripe about being underpaid, which I think that if I was a T.O. fan and I was advocating for T.O., they are underpaying T.O. Like I would say that Top Rank is like jerking his chain. But then on the other side, I say that, man, T.O., you gotta take your stake and your claim in that too. Like you got, like after the Triller move and all this, you already know how it is when you bite the hand that feeds you, man. They're gonna spank you, man. Like so you went through that, you came back, you chose the opponents you chose, and then you chose a Steve Claggett, and all the casual fan knows that this man already has 7 losses. They were looking for you to spike his ass. Now he's a rough, rugged customer, and you didn't spike him, and then you didn't look the best with Virgil Ortiz. And to me, I think Ortiz won that fight, man. I said he did enough to win that fight. I just think that the politics of boxing says that money, the value of that belt was worth more around T.O. waist than it was against Ortiz. I mean Jermaine Ortiz, because Jermaine Ortiz, like, people know him, but they don't know him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So and it wasn't the style to where they're gonna want to showcase that kind of style to be campaigning as the champ. It's not. It don't jump off the wall at you. But I think that in that fight, if I judge it in a vacuum, in that fight, man, Ortiz actually beat T.O., man. I can't, and I'm a T.O. guy. I feel the same way as you. I'm a T.O. guy. It's just that, man, some of the things he said, it's like, man, look, I'm trying to pull for you, but dog, I want to talk to you. Talk to me. I'm like, look,
I could see
call
that.
At me. Like, sit down and talk to me.
I could see how how people could think he won. I don't think he won, but I could see, because he did land. To me, I thought he landed more punches per round on some of the rounds, but the way the pros, my bad, hold on. The way the pros score fights, like when you get into the professional, the power punches and the cleaner punches are supposed to matter more. Yeah. Loud? My bad. I'm too loud, baby sleeping. But the cleaner and the power punches, like when they hit and they land clean, those are really what's gonna count more than because it all matters about the judges too. Yeah. Because if judges don't see it, like the little soft punches that, I mean, they might get through the glove, but they're not clean. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they won't score. I mean, this is how I was trained. I mean, I never was a pro, but you know, I when I used to box and shit, my trainers used to always tell me this, and you know, to try to prepare you and shit like that. But But like I said, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Because it was a close enough fight, so it could have went either way.
Yeah, yeah, like I be at like it's just like with what fight was it?
Because you got to think too.
I probably say like the Fury and Ngannou fight. Like the Fury and Ngannou fight, I feel like Ngannou really won, but because he took off the 10th round, that was the impetus for them to be able to give it to him. But when you look at that fight, it ain't no way you can score that Fury won that fight, man, against Ngannou. Like it ain't no way really, except for the last round, the 10th round, Ngannou took off. Like he stopped throwing his punches. Almost like, man, look, you did too much, bro. Like you gonna have to, like that's how it looked. But with Ortiz and Tio, being that he was a lineal guy, he beat Loma, he beat Taylor. You know, he's that guy to where they got waiting in the rings, and he's another Latin sensation. You know, it was like for them to give it to Ortiz, and then Ortiz, for Ortiz to dance with Loma the way he did, even though I had Loma edging it out slightly. A lot of people say Ortiz edged it out against Loma. Like that was a very hard one.
Yeah,
kind of like
that, though. You know what I mean? It's hard. It's hard to score. When it's a fight like that, it's hard to score it.
And then when you got a guy of that stature, like so he was in them tough fights against a guy of Loma stature, and then a guy of Tio stature. It's like even if it was dead nuts and bolts, even they're gonna give it to the guy with the stature. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't got that cachet for the money around the waist. That belt ain't gonna be as worth as much around your waist as it is with them guys. It's just simple economics. You know what I'm saying?
Think about this. This is what I was gonna say. Tio was coming forward the entire fight. He was the aggressor, and that gives more tips to his side. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, he's more marketable as well than Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine is not as marketable as Teofimo Lopez. So they're always going to favor it. I keep coming close over here. They're going to favor that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But man, I had something else in my mind, man, but I forget. I forget when we get into these topics. They kind of just go away.
While you think about that,
you go ahead and take off until it comes back.
All right, Johnny Addison said Loma has had a few fights that could have gone the other way. Yeah, he could have. Only guy that really beat him, in my opinion, is DHP, and that was razor close too. And that's how I had it. Actually, like people would think, oh man, you just a Devin Haney hater. I was like, man, that's the only fight. The Loma fight. When he did that Loma fight, I actually had Devin Haney edging it. I said it was the same as the Ngannou fight, to where Loma, he took off in the 12th round. I said, man, that's that overconfident, overcockiness. I said, if he would have had a couple more shots, we had popped Loma head back a couple more times. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he would pop Devin head back a couple more times and just put a little bit more effort. But he thought going into the 12th round, he had it. He had it in the bag, but he didn't have it in the bag to where
he let it go.
I'm just going to give it to him because Devin Haney did a lot of body work in them first 6 rounds. He let his hands go to the body a lot in the first 6 rounds. I was shocked. I was like, damn, Devin must have been watching film because you got to go to Loma body to beat him. You got to. That's the secret.
Right. Now. The 3rd or the 4th round, who did you score that for? I can't remember what round it was, but it was a close round, but I gave it to Haney. But a lot of people I don't remember if it was the 3rd or the 4th round, they gave it to Loma. And then depending on those rounds, if you gave it to Loma, then it would have been a draw. But I gave it to Haney, and I thought Haney won it 7-5. That's how I had it.
I had to go back and look at my scorecard. I got a whole video out there though about it where I broke it all down at the time.
Yeah.
But it was close. And
it was close.
You
It was a good
couldn't. I,
fight.
I couldn't argue. Like it's almost. It was almost like the Castano. It was almost kind of like the Castano and Jamel Charlo fight. Whereas,
Yeah.
like I could argue that Castano actually won that fight. Like if you had to put a gun to my head, I would say
Yeah,
Jamel
I
Charlo
did
Castano
too.
won. I would say Castano won.
I
But
did
I'm
too.
like, man,
Now,
with Charlo being the champion and did he do enough to take it? Like when you start mixing in the politics and like, damn, is that enough for all he did to do all that? If you consider that, it's like, well, Mel, okay, cool. So I understand the draw.
now
And
check
then
this
Jamel
out.
Charlo came back
Go ahead.
and sealed the deal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but Devin didn't want to come back and face Loma to like really answer the question.
Yeah.
You
Now
know what
check
I'm saying?
this out. Yeah, check this out though. What did you think about the Castano and the Lara fight? Because I thought Lara won, but they gave it a draw. I thought Lara beat him. To me, in my opinion, he beat him convincingly because he outboxed him easy.
Man,
Not
that
easy,
was
not easy, but he outboxed him. Like
man.
it was a close fight, but I thought Lara won.
It was a close fight, but man, I mean, I could have saw that one going either way, but I just know that, man. I tell you this, Castano, I ain't never seen nobody make Laura look like that. Like Laura looked like he had like, you know how when they show Superman and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, they and Lex Luthor pull out that kryptonite.
Yeah, that kryptonite.
Yeah, man, it was like Castano had that kryptonite, man. I ain't never seen Laura look like that.
It's because Castano could fight his ass off.
He changed levels
You know
so
what I
well,
mean?
like
He
that
can
up
fight.
that level changing that he do,
But-
man. His timing, I'm like, man,
But-
Brian Castano went dark. Why he ain't back in the shadow?
The reason why Castano ain't fool me though, because he was coming back 30, 20 seconds in the last seconds of the round to try to steal it with flurries. That wasn't even really landing, but it was enough to fool the judges, but it didn't fool me, is what I'm saying. Because Lara controlled the pace. If you go back and watch it, I mean, he controlled the pace and he outlanded Castano the entire majority of the round, and then Castano's gonna come back 30 seconds, maybe 20 seconds, and throw all these combinations. I'm like, yeah, you look good, but it still wasn't enough to win you that round. You know what I'm saying? That's why I had Lara winning. It's like, to me, it's crazy because it's like, all right, they gave him that round, but I'm like, dude, what did they just forget what Lara did the entire fucking 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the fight? It's like, does that just go away? Like, what the fuck is the deal?
But let me ask you this: who you got with Danny? Who you got with Danny and Lara?
I got Danny, bro. I got Danny. I thought about that. It's a hard one, but it's a perfect fight for Danny because Danny can box. And Lara is more of a boxer, but the edge goes to Danny because Danny is a better, to me, I think he's a better defensively, and I think he's a better, he could fight in the inside better than Lara can. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say Danny's a great inside fighter, but I think he's underrated because I think he can fight. All right, who do you think won, him or Porter? I thought he beat Porter, in my opinion, but majority of people think Porter won, but I don't see it. You know what I mean? Because to me, he was a little too defensively, but he still connected more than Porter connected on him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean that's a tough one to argue.
But I'm just saying the style's perfect for Danny because Lara's not a volume puncher.
Only thing I look at is this. Only thing I look at with this is why I lean towards Lara, is because Danny don't got no business up at 160, brother. Like, if it wasn't Lara, if it was anybody else, and even Lara and right now in the time where he's sitting down on shit and knocking shit out, his dimensions. Danny's power ain't been there since 40, and that was his whole thing when he kept you with that no look left. Like, he ain't gonna be able to get that shit. His art, like Earl Spence, with the state of Earl Spence and what he was able to do to Danny, I think that Law's arms is too long and he's too tall, and Danny's arms is just too short. Like it's almost like it's like how would amaze me, would shock me because I didn't see this coming. But when Devin Haney did what he did to Regis Prograis, I didn't expect. Now I'm not disrespecting Danny and saying that his IQ is like a Regis Prograis. I'm just saying that his dimensions for that weight class, like Danny, for his height and his arm reach, like when you look at his arm reach, he has no business up there with them ones.
You're right, but you got to think about this. He picked Lara. He's been asking for Lara for a while. He wanted Lara because he could beat Lara because Lara is the perfect style and the time. Lara's what, 39 or something like that. Like Lara ain't Lara anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's in great shape for his age, and he ain't lose much, but he still lost his touch. Yeah, he is knocking people out, but 160 ain't like 154. The guys are, you know what I mean? Right now, 160, and the opposition that the dudes that Lara fought at 160. You know what I mean? Perfect fight for Lara, and I love Lara, bro. That was one of my guys back then. I thought he edged it out against Canelo, in my opinion, but it could have went either way.
Yeah, I think he edged it out against Canelo, but at the same time, I just think that this is really an ode to them guys, getting them a payday and setting them off because I mean Danny need to go ahead and do what he gonna go do, man. Like it's like he say all the time, it's a young man sport. And I ain't gonna knock you from gonna get a bag because Floyd's still getting a bag. So I ain't never gonna tell a rapper to stop rapping. I ain't gonna never tell an artist to stop drawing. I ain't gonna tell a boxer to stop boxing. But at the same time, this is a young man sport, and one of these guys is gonna cancel Christmas. So we'll see. We'll see on that fight. And to answer, I'll let you take first dibs at this one, and then I'll answer it, and we'll wrap it up after this. But take first dibs at that. He said, what y'all think of Brian Norman Jr. versus Boots?
I don't know too much about Brian Norman. You know what I mean?
Well, this is what I think. This is my opinion. Now, go back. And I think you kind of got to do more. This is not one of the ones where you'll be able to microwave your research on this one. You'll actually have to go back and look at the full fights. Now, it'll have to be between a break or on the way home or however you want to do it. But you got to look at the full fights at how Brian Norman, because his highlights, I think his highlights don't do him justice. His highlights make it look like Brian Norman highlights will actually make it look like you can hit him whenever you want. The thing is, this is what I think. I'm leaning towards Boots because when Boots is if you let Boots get comfortable, his offensive arsenal is almost second to none. I think aside from Tank and Anyway, he up there. Like Tank, Anyway, and Boots, their offensive arsenal, any punch whenever they want. Like, I think they can get it off. That's how I look at them. Like they are offensive. When you look at just offense, they can get off any punch. Their hand-eye coordination and their accuracy is that great to where at any punch that they want to land, they can land on command with spider-like reflexes. The thing is, with Brian Norman is, I think Brian Norman has a chin. He does not mind getting hit, and if you misjudge him, he'll sit right there in front of you and take you, hit him on the chin while he deliver like a brick right back, and he'll be there all night. Now it's the type of style where Boots he gonna let his hands go because you're not gonna have to put a GPS on Brian Norman to find him. I just think that Brian don't mind. See, some of the they don't get appreciated in this era where it's like after Boots fight, people say, oh, he got hit. It's like, yeah, that's kind of a big deal. going for points and shit like that. But if you don't mind getting hit to deliver yours, those are some of the most dangerous fighters. Like I know, even in life, I never laced them up, but I fought a lot. I've been in fist fights.
Right.
I fought a lot. Somebody who don't mind you hitting them is some of the most dangerous people because they don't give a fuck about what you hitting them with. It's like, all right, okay, cool. You ain't knocking me out then, and then they coming. That's how Brian Norman is.
You have to take a punch. You have to. That's almost.
But
if you go into boxing and you expect not to get hit or not to go to there to take a hit, you should have no business boxing. You know what I mean? That's what my mentality. That's what my grandfather put me in my mind when he trained me when I was a kid. He says, if you're not going in there to get hit or at least take a hit, I'm not even going to train you. And I was like, I don't give a damn. I was one of those fighters that, I'm going in there. I know I'm going to get hit at one point. You're going to have to take a hit. Like, you know what I mean? It's boxing. Like, you're going to get hit. You just got to be ready for it. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
That's always my mentality. I feel like any professional fighter should have that type of mentality. You know?
Yeah, you got to. You can't be like, oh, man, like, trying to keep. It's almost like the quarterbacks in football that like that clean pocket who they don't like people when they crashing down. They don't like people hanging around their legs. Like the best ones, they don't give a fuck if somebody hanging around their legs. Like Montana, he gonna let it rip. Joe Montana was just gonna let it rip. Like McNabb, he gonna let it rip.
Them are old school guys. That's why they started making all the rules and shit now.
Yeah. So if you're a clean pocket guy to where you don't like getting hit, it's a young favorite. He's disappointing me right now, man. I'm like, I hate that people feel like I'm just shitting on him, but like it's a young guy now, great talent. I call him the definition, but he disappoint.
That's my guy though.
He disappointing me right now, man. I'm disappointed, man. I got higher expectations out of that guy. And I'm just like, man, don't let them Hollywood you, man. Don't let them but it happens. You got to do what you got to do. You know.
Yeah. Hey, that's my guy though. The definition is my guy. I know who you're talking about. I'm not gonna say his name.
Yeah, that's my guy too.
If you don't care if I say it, I'll say it.
Huh?
I said if you don't care if I say it, I'll say it. But I'm trying to respect the channel.
Nah, man, we know everybody who watch, but I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it like that about him. But I'm because he's one of my guys. Like I supported him. I held him down. I defended him when a lot of people were shitting on him. And like right now, I'm like, man, they making you go Hollywood, brother. Like they making you go down the route that's not you. Like the way I'm looking at you, like that's not you, brother. Like that's not even you.
You know what they say though? All publicity is good publicity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or bad or whatever publicity. It's all it ends up good at the end of the day because guess what? All eyes are on you, whether it's hate or love. You know what I mean? But hey, they're gonna shit on Shakur like that, babe. The dude that Shakur's fighting. That guy's pretty good, but the only thing is he's coming up in weight.
I like Cordina.
Bro, he's good. That motherfucker's good.
I watched the interview and Cordina's coming in like I ain't gonna say like Liam Paro because he don't got the skill set of a Liam Paro, but Cordina
I don't know, he's pretty good. He's pretty different.
No, he has great feet. He has good hand speed. He has decent power. The only thing with him is you can entice him into brawling. Like if you can entice him into getting into a brawl, and that guy who fought him, it was like, man, he had his social security number, man. He knew what he liked for breakfast. Like he knew what time he get up to go jogging. Like he knew what time he come home. You know what I'm saying? It's like he just knew because he was watching. He was a starving artist. You know, and I looked at the interview from Cordina, and Cordina said, listen, I have nothing to lose, fam. Like, it's no problem, fam. No problem, fam. I have no. He's like, Shakur looking at me like he's licking his chops, no problem. He said, I have nothing to lose. He's like, it's all on him. And I like that's the dangerous fight, especially coming off of a loss. So if you like picking this fight and getting that kind of bread for this kind of fight, if you make him look like ordinary or below, it's a great move. But if he knock you down, if he bust your face up, if he do anything, man, you're gonna hurt your stock. But Cordina is decent, like, and he might be more refreshed going up to 35 to where he's coming into his own. You know, he coming into his strength, like where okay, shit, I ain't gotta cut down this much. Okay, cool. I got some power. I ain't had to cut that much muscle. Like whatever is going on, I ain't struggling with weight. I got a little extra to play with. He might come in there feeling extra spicy. So, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, he's pretty good, man. I think he's gonna put up a good fight. I mean, in the beginning, I think it is, but I think Shakur is gonna end up piecing him up, like in the later rounds. Because, like you said, he likes to commit to brawling sometimes, and he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it against Shakur. Shakur, look, the people that keep thinking, it's like they think Shakur can't fight or something. Like, not you, but I'm just saying a lot of other channels. Are you there?
Yeah, I mean he can.
Okay, I was just making.
Look, Shakur can. I don't know what's been going on with Shakur, man. I think that he let the outsiders get in his head, and I think that he need. I think he need to just say, man, like when I say it, it's like I'm a critique you, just like I do T.O., just like I do Tank, just like I do Gary Antoine, just like I do Richards and Hitchens, like Sabril. I'm gonna critique you just like I do everybody else. I'm not gonna let nobody shit on you. But then I'm gonna actually call you out, but I'm not gonna embarrass you if you do some crazy shit. I'm not the one that's gonna try to capitalize you. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I'm probably gonna protect you more than I will like really put a shovel on you, right? But the thing is, I think Shakur need to say, fuck the media, stop listening to what they say, and just do what you do. Like I know, I know inside, intermediate. I know at least intermediate. Sometimes inside, Shakur can get with you. I've seen him do it. I got highlights with him doing that. I just think that it got to a point to where he wanted to look so flawless. It's just like I keep going back to football because that's my first sport. I was a running back, but I played football all my life. And what I noticed is that some quarterbacks, man, they cannot. They don't like that shit. Like they don't like people hanging around their knees. They don't like people coming around late. Like you can rattle them even if you don't get to them, but you still run by them. Like you give them that, like, oh yeah, I was right there. Like if you do that all night, like they're gonna fucking break at some point in time. They need a clean pocket. Like if you let them get a clean pocket, like a Tom Brady or like a Peyton Manning, they're gonna tear your ass up. But if you be dangling around their feet, if you can fucking, you know what I'm saying, might tap them late. Like you might hit them on the helmet after the play. You might hit their shoulder pad like 2 seconds after they done threw the ball. It's like that shit gonna fuck them up. And so that's what you gotta do it for. If he allowed Cordina to do that all night and then, you know what I'm saying, tee off or make it ugly towards the end, he could lose. Trying to be perfect. Stop trying to be perfect, man. Take some chances. Like
I think Shakur though, he can handle the pressure though. Like I've seen him handle pressure. He's a good combination fighter. He knows where to stand. He knows what's the word? We used to call it the tarantara. When you step around and you switch, kind of like what Mike Tyson used to do. He could do that. He's capable of all that. But he is trying to look too perfect. I agree.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't listen, man, it's gonna get ugly, brother. Like the fans wanna know you willing to take a risk, brother.
Yeah.
Like even on our jobs, like whatever we do for a living, like every day, when we take the biggest risks we do is getting inside a vehicle just to go to work. I was driving motherfucking shit, might be more than 70 miles, you know, home, and then 20 miles to the other job, and then 30 miles home. So it's like the most risky thing I was doing every day was probably driving. But then you deal with the high voltage, the amps, the currency, the building up on the roof, the the chemicals you working with, it's risk. But if you getting paid that bread, take the risk because you built for it, brother. Like you've been training all your life for it. Just take the risk. That's what separates the great ones. Like if you never take the risk, like they say, man, the shots you don't hit are the shots you don't take. It's like you got at some point. It's like don't risk it to your detriment. Don't be like, because the other narrative is, oh, they just want to see him get hit. It's like, no, nobody's asking for any of these boxers to get hit because we already know it take one punch and it could be over. We're not asking for that. We're just saying, like, listen, calculate the risk and then every now and again take it. Don't play it too safe because the playing it too safe is gonna get you too safe results. I say that just like with the stock market. Yeah, you can play it safe and in the long haul, it's gonna work great. But if you got every now and then you gotta take a rate, you gotta take a risk to, you know what I'm saying, to capitalize.
To win big, yeah.
To win big. You know, that's all they asking. They're not asking you to lose or put your chin on the line. They're just saying take a risk every now and again to show the fans that, hey man, look, I'm in it for you. Like, yeah, I'm about to get it done. I'm gonna make this dude look, because you talk like that before the fight. We just want to see it after the fight. We know what you're capable of, but don't talk like that. Under promise and over deliver. Don't over promise and under deliver. That's all I be saying.
Yeah, I agree. Look, I agree because I think Shakur, like, I thought he could have did more. Like there was opportunities, but he didn't take it.
Yeah, like even Artem. Well, Artem, like it was like
him too. And the same thing with what the fuck's his name? The grenade. I already forgot his name. I know his name. I gotta think about it though.
De Los Santos.
Dominican dude, yeah.
De Los Santos.
Edwin. Yeah. He had a lot of people act like he wasn't running. He was running too. Like him and like it was back and forth. The way I saw it. When Shakur was trying to press him, he was running. Because he knew Shakur was trying to land something on him.
Reason, look, this my only kickback to that is because this my only kickback to the running thing. Shakur, when he was fighting Artem, when Shakur was fighting Artem, he said, man, you seen when I pressed him, he started running. I'm like, okay, well, hold on. You can't call it running when, if you do it, it ain't running. Like, you just playing defense. But if the other guy do it, he running. That's my only thing. Like, they wasn't running. He was doing the same shit you be doing. Like, which is you were evading.
But the way Stevenson does it is a little different. He steps back every time they're trying to engage. He just takes one step back most of the time. I'm not going to say all the time, but most of the time he just takes a step back, make you miss. And then supposed to counter, but that's not what we saw in that fight. So that's why people call it running. I said running because everyone calls it running. So if I say something else, it's going to be like running. So
yeah, I don't look at it running. I think maybe in the De Los Santos fight, I
believe him.
I mean, that was an anomaly. I'm gonna tell you. Look. Coming after that Regis fight was Zorilla, and then getting that. Those two fights broke records, bro. Like that's historical. Like somebody need to write articles on that shit. Like them fights coming back to back. The Regis Zorilla fight and the Shakur De Los Santos fight coming back to back like that. Those were historical record fights. Like like somebody need to do a piece about that. You would never see that again, bro.
I thought Zorilla won
like that.
I thought Zorilla beat Regis.
I think so too.
Yeah, he won. He won that.
But historically, as far as punches thrown, punches landed, you would never see two fights like that again, like that in that short. I'm telling. Well, it's gonna be a long time before you see it. That was an anomaly. That's why I say for people who said, "Man, look, let's run it back." Like with Shakur and Santos, let's run it back.
They should. No, I agree.
But I say, look, just run it back because that's an anomaly. Like your hand was hurt, and De Los Santos, whatever reason, he didn't. Even though I saw him pursuing at times, I seen a little bit of both.
Yeah, me too.
I got to go back and look at it again, but just run it back because that was an anomaly. You're not going to get that. I would say 10 times out of 10, you're not gonna get that again. Like I would say,
De Los Santos could fight though, man. Like he ain't no scrub. Like De Los Santos ain't a scrub. Like I think if wasn't there talks about him, De Los Santos fighting Gary Antoine Russell?
I
Or
think
something
it was
like that. Like he was supposed to move up. Huh?
I heard Frank Martin.
Frank and
De Los Santos.
Bro, honestly, I got De Los Santos if he fights Frank.
But 140, because I was saying that Frank is really a 140 anyway. That's why I said, man, I said Frank just wasting his time. You need to go at 140 where he ain't looking like a skeleton at the weigh-in. He'll have all this power, but he's shorter, so he can get up under people and use his reflexes and his counterpunching ability and his power to shock people, like kind of like how what Tank do. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I think him being shorter. See, I think with Frank having the power and the reflexes and the speed, it's an advantage being shorter. You know what I'm saying? Since he got that. And I said he needed to get to 140. So I mean, that's a good fight, man. I would love to see De Los Santos and Frank get it on, man. I don't, you know, like I'm leaning towards. I like De Los Santos. I'm high on De Los Santos for some reason, man.
Cause he's a good fighter. You see,
he remind me of like my cousin and shit. You know what I'm saying? He remind me of my cousin. Like I've always seen people like that throughout my life. That little like that just got that spicy. They're just gonna come. Like you just know, like they're gonna try you. Like they're gonna push the envelope. Like they're gonna, you know what I'm saying? They are like, unless you can knock them off, that's just what they gonna be.
Right.
Like they there to be taken. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. As boxing fans, we need to see fights like this.
We need that.
This is how fighters get discovered.
We don't
need none of that. I hate to say it, but we don't need none of that Haney shit, bro.
That's true.
I used to like Haney, but ever since the JoJo Diaz fight, I was like, man, he ain't ready for the top guys. I was like, he ain't ready for them big punches. He ain't ready for that. And I still think he ain't ready. He ain't really ready for that.
I said it. See, listen, I was one of them guys that said, listen, man, you guys, the Devin Haney. Let me read this real quick. Hey, body, where you never boxed, but you would take a fight against Jake Paul right now? Come on, man, really? Yeah, I would. I could fight, Johnny. I know people be saying that shit because they on the internet, but I actually can fight, brother. Like,
how big? If you don't mind me asking, how big are you? Like, how?
I'm 5'10". I'm 5'10". Shit, I could be anywhere between, like, right now I'm probably about 195.
Y'all fight. Jake Paul fights at what, heavyweight?
I don't know.
I think he does. He's been petitioning at heavyweight. You'd have to build up.
So tell us about your Jake Paul challenge, body work. What would you take realistically to lace them up with JP? Hey, man. Hey, like numbers wise, one, I would want to know what weight, because I wouldn't. If it's gonna be at the weight I'm at now, all right, okay, cool. But depending on if he want to do 175, I would want to know the weight, and then it will be based on the number that he told me. But I can fight, man. Like I don't care. I grew up fighting, brother. Like I've never laced them up, but I've fought enough, and I know that when I fight, I've been learning more about boxing since I've been watching it, but I grew up fighting. So now I'm just applying the shit that I've been learning in boxing, like when I'm shadow boxing, but just going on my instinct as far as just fighting all my life.
First thing is footwork. When my grandfather trained me, he said the first thing you're gonna learn is footwork. He didn't even teach me how to throw a punch. Once I had the footwork and my stance, then he started teaching me how to throw the punches.
That's what Mayweather. That's what What was it? Mayweather's, was that his uncle? I think it was his uncle. That was the first thing I saw when I started looking it up. He's like, yeah, man, footwork. I think he was working with Devin at the time. He's like, man, footwork is the basic. So I started looking at that and everything. But like everything I know, But I already know how the game work, man. I know how the game work, man. I knew with that Jake Paul, Logan Paul shit. Like when I knew when I seen Buddy from Florida who came out there, that big black dude, he had a keloid on his chest. I think they was predicting first round, and like I think with like 30 seconds left on the clock, he knocked him out in the first round. It's like I'm not gonna sign him to get knocked out. Like if I go in there, I'm really gonna try to fight. Either last, I'm gonna go in there either try to last, or I'm gonna try to knock this nigga out. Like I'm not playing. I'm not signing up for you to knock me out, man.
Now you want to hear something funny? The guy, all right, the dude that trained, I don't know if he's still training with him, but the guy that was training Logan Paul was my old trainer. His name's Milton.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. His name was Milton. I trained with him when I lived in Florida. And then one day I called him when I had lived here. I've only been here at the time for like 3 years. And he told me that he's training some dude, Logan Paul. And this is I think this is before he fought the fuck's his name? KSR the second time.
Yeah.
It was like right before that fight. And he told me he was training Logan. I didn't even know who Logan Paul was at the time. And then my wife was the one who told me. She was, oh, that's that famous YouTuber. And then I started looking him up and shit. And then, I don't know, it's just crazy. You'd be like, man, that was my old fucking trainer. And motherfuckers over here.
But he a good trainer? Was he a good trainer?
He actually, nobody knows this. And I don't know what this would do if I say it. But he actually trained Tio first, and then his dad took over when he was a kid. Because I remember Tio used to come to our gym to spar in Florida. So this is how I know he ain't really a New Yorker. Because he would come in our gym and spar kids. He had to be like 9 or 10 years old though. I'm a lot older than he is. And the only reason why I know it was Tio, because I remember his fucking father, his loud ass dad, bro, talking mad shit. And one day, Tio, Milton had kicked out his father because Tio was beating the shit out of this kid. One of I don't remember the kid's name, but he was beating the shit out of him, and they were trying to stop the fight, and he just kept going, and his dad didn't even try to stop. And that's how I remember Tio. But
I still got love for Tio. I just don't. I'm like, man, don't let Hollywood take you away, man.
I mean, I don't know
Shakur.
Yeah, I don't know Tio, but he used to just come to the gym and spar as a kid. He was like I said, he was like 9 or 10 years old, and I was 20 at the time.
But look, my man Johnny Allison, he back at it again. He say, hey, guys. He's talking to you, JDL. What was your boxing record? What were your accolades?
Nah, I have 8-0. That's it. I didn't fight too much. I was more. I was in and out. I was in and out of the gym.
How many knockouts?
I didn't knock out nobody.
Okay.
We had headgear on, 2-minute rounds, and I was just learning how to box at the time. You know.
Well, that's a good
I knocked people out in the gym, but I ain't knocked nobody out in the fight.
You a southpaw or orthodox?
Orthodox. It's been a minute. You know, I'm 38 now, and this is way back. 20 years.
You still shadow boxing stuff? You still keep it?
Yeah, you know? I always shadow box in my kitchen and shit. I just be doing it every once in a while. I got this little round bag. I punch it. I haven't punched it in a while, though. But it's like it's hard to get it out. Like I was at a gym over here in Tennessee called Second Chance Boxing, like about a year ago. But I really haven't got no time for it. I got to work and shit, and then they only open from like. For adults, it's like 6 to 7:30. I can't make that shit. I can never make it. Especially here in Tennessee, ain't many boxing gyms here. Like, there was a lot when I was in Boston. When I lived there is where I was boxing. and then I moved to Florida, and that's where I met Milton, and he trained me.
What part of
His style? Oh yeah,
Florida was that?
that's why I even named Tio, because of that Tio style. Milton teaches that style. That's why I even mentioned his name. I didn't even say.
Now, was that the same guy that because I remember I did a video about him saying Big Gordo was it Gordo?
Gordo. They used to call him Chino when he was a kid. At least I think that's what his. I don't know if they called him Gordo, but
yeah, because they were saying I forgot what they were saying, Flashy Gordo or something. They were calling him something Gordo, and they
Gordo
said that after
when he was in the amateurs. When he was a little older, I think he was a teenager when they were calling him Gordo.
Yeah, but they said after I forgot after which fight they said he went back to his amateur coach, and I'm wondering if it's this guy you talking about. Flashy Gordo.
Milton trained him before I met Milton because he's the one who started. He started Tio, and I want to. Damn, I don't see. I want to say if I call Milton, he won't answer my phone call anyway. If I call him, he's too big now. He's up there.
Not on Steve Crawford.
But I want to say he was the guy that he took from Florida, and he beat all the dudes from Baltimore.
Yeah, Johnny.
Amateurs, because at the time, nobody could beat the guys from Baltimore because Baltimore was the dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the amateur days, like a lot of good dudes come from Baltimore.
DH remembers Tio in the amateurs as Gordo. Yeah. Bill Haney. Yeah. Yeah, man, I got a lot of love for Tio, man. I'm just like with all these young guys, it's almost like looking at because I'm 43. I'll be 44. So I'm a little bit older than these guys, and I know how I used to think when I was in the army or just young, being a young dude, man, just out and just I ain't have nowhere near the money they had, but I had enough bread to where I could do whatever I wanted. I had enough freedom and enough power to feel like I was the man. So I could only imagine how they felt. So a lot of these guys, I be looking at it like, man, come on, don't do that. But they gotta be their own men. But the way boxing is and the way YouTube is and the way they think you gotta promote and your image gotta be, it's almost like rap. You could be nice with lyrics, but it's almost like it'll push you to where you damn near gotta do what you saying, you know what I'm saying, in your raps. And it's like that with boxing. It's like you gotta portray this shit online, and you gotta, oh man, I'll be shit down this person's leg, and I'll do this and do that. And then when you get in there and you start, you know what I'm saying, you start getting hit, or them, you know what I'm saying, them punches start flying back, and you ain't showing what you was supposed to be. Like now you saying F the fan. And I'm like, I caught Shakur doing, I caught Tio doing. I'm like, man, y'all getting caught up in the light, and because you can't get caught up in the light, you just gotta study your craft, study your opponent, and then come on, put out the best product, and then leave it all in the ring and let it go.
Right. Because
I be wanting to support Tio, and then he'll have a lackluster performance, or he'll overpromise and underdeliver, and then he'll want to come on and say F the fans. And it's like, no, you can't say that. Because you promised us this, so we're gonna hold you to accountable. Now, if you just said, "Look, man, I'm gonna make it look like a master class. I'm gonna style on this dude for 12 rounds." That's what everybody gonna expect. But you can't come down like Shakur said, "I'm gonna beat shit down all down this dude's leg. I'm stopping him, and then afterward, you be like, "Oh man, he hit hard, man." I'm like, man, come on, you gotta put some respect on his name. Fans ain't gonna want to hear that shit. They know what you're capable of. They heard your grandfather saying, you know, to stop this dude. You seen what happened to Shakur Foster? Like, man, stop this dude. We don't know what they saying on the scorecards, which was right. And then afterward, you like, fuck the fan. I'm following Shakur. I just think that the lights for both of them guys got so big to where, in a sense, they're losing themselves. And I'm like, man, I don't look at y'all. I look at y'all like two bright young men, talented in two different ways, appealing in two different ways. and resonating with two different fan bases perhaps, but young bright brothers in the grand scheme of things. And I want to see y'all both succeed, especially T.O., because I think, man, if T.O. can't box, I don't know what he'll do, man. He might be, I don't even want to say the extent to where he might go if he ain't successful in boxing. So I want him to be successful.
You said something about, he said he was going back to his old trainer from the amateurs.
They said that after the, I think going into the Taylor fight, they slick boxer Gordo was what they was calling him. They said going back into the T.O. fight, into the Josh Taylor fight, he got back with his amateur trainer, and he was going back to slick boxer Gordo.
Okay, so the funny thing is that I was watching the Edgar Berlanga video, and T.O.'s dad was on there, and Milton was right next to him. So I don't know. That's why I was saying I'm not 100% sure, because I never ever saw Milton actually training T.O. At least I don't remember, because like I said, when I was talking to Milton on the phone, he told me he was saying something about, he kept saying Chino or Gord. He might have been saying Gordo, but I didn't know him by that name, because at the time when I talked to him, I only know him by T.O. But I didn't know it was actually T.O., but I remember his father clearly. Like, his father was loud as shit all the time, talking shit in the gym and just always bullshitting. And that's how I remember T.O. was through his father, because I remember his father. I don't remember T.O. But I don't remember Milton training T.O. ever. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's Milton. It might be. Like I said, like, he told me he's the one who trained T.O., and he was like pissed off at his dad at one point. I mean, I shouldn't even be saying this shit out in public, because I don't want to start nothing, But I could be wrong, you know what I mean?
Hey, if anybody release anything, then they had to admit they was over here, and they not gonna do that. They come over here to loot, rob, pilfer, and plunder. And the kid get no credit, so I mean they ain't gonna say that. Man.
I don't want to start nothing between them. You know what I mean?
No, I think you safe, man.
All right. I don't know like how they be watching your videos and shit, but I know I'm a small dude. They ain't gonna fucking see my shit. Ain't nobody gonna see my shit.
Nah, man. But anyways. But anyways, man. Hey, tell us this, and then we'll wrap it up. What do you see happening in this Berlanga Canelo shit?
Bro, I see. I'm loud? Okay, my bad. I'm being too loud. My wife's yelling at me. All right, so Berlanga, y'all can't see me because it's dark, but I'm going for Berlanga, bro. And the only reason why I'm saying this, I just got a funny feeling, because the zone lately has been playing a lot of upsets. You know what I mean? And Berlanga, I mean, skill for skill, Canelo should win. You know what I mean? If Berlanga goes in there and just
breaking up a little bit.
I was trying, because where I'm at right now, the connection ain't good. That's why I was.
Nah, but go ahead, pick up. We hear you. Go ahead. But what you think lately? What?
All right, so lately, the zone has been pulling a lot of ups. I said this is just going based on something tickling my head, because I'm getting the same thing tickling my head about the Paro fight and Subriel Matias, right? Something was tickling me in my head saying Paro's gonna win, but now something's tickling me in my head saying that Berlanga's gonna win. Now, skill for skill, Canelo, to me, easily should win this fight. You know what I'm saying? But when I really look at Berlanga is he's a good puncher. You see what I'm saying? It's all wrong because to me, defensively, he's not as good as Canelo. So the way the styles has got to mash up, I think he's got to go in there and stick to a jab that he never used before in his previous fights, and swing on Canelo and break Canelo. Like I said before, he got to crush him. He's got to go in there and crush him, and he very much can. I think he's capable of it. So he's got to go in there.
Can Berlanga fight in the back? Can Berlanga fight in the back foot?
He's all right, but he ain't the best at it. He can fight in the back foot, but he ain't. Canelo don't. He fights more off the ropes than off the back foot. Canelo footwork, in my opinion, it ain't the best footwork. He's flat-footed. He's real flat-footed, and he likes to stay planted. That's how he gets off his shot, because he relies on his defense, which is pretty good. To me, my opinion. I mean, I don't know what everybody else is gonna think, but this is just what I see based on.
So if Berlanga is to pull this out, is that a 12-round decision, or he got to knock Canelo out?
If it's a 12-round decision, it's because he's hurt Canelo multiple times, and that's the way he's got to do to where he's gonna have Canelo trying to survive. You feel me?
Yeah.
I don't know if we're breaking up again or what. But
No. I heard you.
Okay.
I heard
you. But he's gonna have to. I mean, this is what he has to do. Is what I'm saying. He has to hurt Canelo multiple times. He has to do what nobody else has ever done. He's got to bang him to the body. He's gonna have to fuck him up, bro. You know what I mean? He's gonna have to go out on the shield, is what I'm saying, and he has to do more damage. You know what I'm saying? Than Canelo's gonna do to him. But Canelo, to me, Canelo should win this fight easy. Not easy, but convincingly. I don't think he's gonna knock out. I don't think he's gonna knock out Berlanga though.
Good take. Somebody said 2 rounds earlier. I said I'll take the over on the 2 rounds. I'm not sure if anybody's expecting Berlanga to win, and I only think it's really because it's not that Berlanga cannot absolutely win, because we know in boxing anything can happen. Right. I just think that the IQ of Canelo is good enough to where he's going to put Berlanga on the back foot, and he know that that's the weak spot. He's not going to allow Berlanga to come forward where he'll be the sitting duck, and Berlanga is punching downhill with momentum against him. You're going to put Berlanga on that back foot and make him make mistakes, and if Berlanga miscalculate, I don't think he's going to carry him like he did Jaime Munguia, because nobody can tell me shit. Canelo Alvarez carried Jaime Munguia. It was a point in time where it was like, you saw when he hurt Jaime, and he damn near held him up and was just like looking at him. And then I said, man, I guess in the grand scheme of things, on some Mexican, like next level, I'm gonna carry the torch shit where I don't want to embarrass my man, give you a little light up under your bushel shit. Okay, cool. But at the same time, I don't think he's gonna afford Berlanga that same opportunity if he get him hurt. If he catch Berlanga the way he caught Munguia, he's not gonna carry him for 12 rounds.
Yeah, that's
my opinion. And Berlanga is not making it he's not giving it any help with the way he's been talking and saying he's, PUSSY and talking all this big boy. But we all know, just like I knew my man wasn't himself when he got in the ring, he started looking like a pussycat instead of a roaring lion. I already knew. I think I knew about 2 minutes into the first round. I said, oh man, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? That's just the realest in me.
He's like I said, skill for skill, Canelo should win easy. We're gonna have to see how Berlanga takes, but I think he can though, because realistically, Berlanga's opponents, they're bigger than fucking Canelo. But Canelo's a great puncher. I'm not gonna say he's the hardest puncher. He has good pop, but it ain't like I don't think it ain't nothing that Berlanga ain't seen before. You know what I mean?
I know this. This the last thing. This the last thing. I know this, man. A lot of people they discount they discount this one factor in the sport of boxing, right? And I don't know how, because I knew it. I felt it in football. I knew when I was back there and they kicked that ball off, and I was back there and I was looking up waiting for, or on the punt return, I was looking up waiting for, or when they handed it to me. When them people was in the stands, I had this extra energy, and it was something about them people watching that gave me an extra something. And I know in science that the more eyeballs observe something, you know, objects actually behave differently when they're being observed. It's scientifically proven. And and I always say this, a lot of people say experience, but what they really they're alluding to, okay, the times you've been through that. It's a whole nother aspect of that, to where when you're on a big ass stage and it's a lot of people looking at you, like if you have a motivational spoke, if they ever, like, I went to prisons where they let out like 75 prisoners, and I was giving motivational speaks and telling people how to get their life right. And I got used to it. But it's a feeling when you got all them eyes looking at you. Things behave different when they being observed, and it's one of them things to where until you put in that situation, it's like you either born with that where you can. It don't matter if they looking. It don't matter if, you know how some people can do tricks, like they like, hey man, look at this, and they show you some shit, but then when it's like trying to show a bunch of people they can't do it, or when it's like, all right, watch this, and they get ready, they get in front of some people and they just be like, damn, I just had it, I just did it. I think that's going to be a factor, man, like in these fights. And I think that's one of the things I know that's one of the things that Tank have an advantage of, and another thing that Canelo have an advantage of, and these people that's used to being up on these big, bright stages, to where it is different when everybody looking at you. Because you can't tell me that when, aside from, I heard, you know, with the K the Plant thing, I heard the Mexican Mafia told this motherfucker, like, hey man, you ain't winning this motherfucker fight. I heard that. And they said that, they basically told him that. And I know that under those big bright lights, for him to stop and be like, oh, I'm pretty good for this, and start talking and doing shit that's just uncharacteristic, people perform differently under the big bright lights. Like, being observed is a real thing.
I was nervous. Just I remember in my first bout, I was nervous as shit, and there weren't even many people in there, but they're just watching me. I'm the type of person that honestly, I perform less. Like, I don't perform good when people are observing me. I perform better. Like, if I'm comfortable in my gym, bro, I feel like a damn pro in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a professional in my gym when I got the normal people that I know that I'm used to there. But when you got new people watching you, like the judges and shit, and you got just random people you don't even know watching you, I'm just looking around. I'm constantly just like, I ain't focused. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I respect those guys that fight big ass crowds like that, bro. Like, that's not easy. To me, that's not easy, because it takes away like your energy, like your breath, in a way. I don't know how to explain it.
It's like fighting at the bus stop.
Bro,
Look,
it almost makes your knees weak in a sense.
It do.
Like, it makes your knees weak.
It's human. It's like human psychology, man. Once your brain registers, like, oh shit, because it's like fighting at your bus stop versus fighting right outside of school when everybody's standing outside looking. You know what I'm saying?
I used to whoop ass in school, though. We were like, all right, bro, meet me in the park.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't fight in the school, but I was like, meet me in the fucking park if you about that. And then we go in the park. I used to handle business in the park, but it's different though, because you got your boys there.
Yeah.
You know. But in the it's different when you on the stage. You know.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
I'm saying? It's different, bro. Like I was saying, I felt it. I almost felt it in my knees. Like, my knees ain't have like the same hold. I ain't lying. That's probably why I ain't knocked nobody out. You know? I won them
And it
all.
takes time, and that takes time, mate. That takes time. So that's the only thing. It's just a couple of things where I'm saying, man, look, when I give my assessment on Berlanga and Canelo, it's not that I'm hating on Berlanga. I would love for Berlanga to knock Canelo head off in the stands. I want him to stand him on his fucking retirement, because I think that with him and another guy, I just think that they holding up the sport because you're on your fair world tour. And yeah, you deserve to do whatever you do. I just think that, man, I'm looking forward, man. It's like, do what you're gonna do, but I'm looking forward. So I would love for Berlanga to knock his head off into the second row, like for real, like in living color. Like I would love it. But I'm a realist.
A hard task.
I'm a realist. That's why I say I'm a realist.
Canelo's where he's at for a reason. And it ain't because he's a scrub, you know, but like I said, I think Berlanga, if he takes this shit serious and he does what he's got to do in the gym to get his ass ready, he could pull it off. Like anybody, I think anybody, I'm one of those people that believe if you do what you got in the gym and then you go up in there and ready, you're going to handle it. That's just the way I am. And I think the way Berlanga's carrying himself, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of got to, no homo, you got to, like, you checking his nuts. Does that make sense? Like, you checking him, see if he's got, like, you holding up, bro? All right, let's see that then. You know, he's holding up. He's holding up. He actually wants to fight. So that, to me, is he's going to be putting in work. He's going to be putting in work. You already know he's a good puncher. He could hurt. I think he could hurt Canelo, and that's what he's got to do. In order,
he got to do it.
Because he got to do it, bro. Because
he got to do it. We'll know. Look, we'll give him the first 3 rounds. Like I'll probably give him the first 3 rounds. But if you're looking at anything like how Charlo did, man, when he first started, man, he got to grab his nuts, bro.
Yeah,
he got to grab his nuts. He got to be in 15 to 17 round condition.
Yeah, he's got to be in condition to fight like Matias, in a sense, like go in there and just fucking go all out, bro. But you got to be defensively. See, that's my worry about Berlanga, is his defense. He's not like, I mean, Canelo's nice with his defense.
Yeah, Berlanga proven that somebody with a decent boxing IQ can frustrate him. I lie when he pulled the Mike Tyson shit. It's like you can, you know, and so Canelo knows that. So he's gonna do some things. He's gonna test his mettle. He's gonna play some mind games on him. And Berlanga just gotta be like, man, fuck all that shit and just beat that eardrum, hit that shoulder, hit that fucking forearm, hit that
forearm, exactly.
Like whip to the body. You know what I'm saying? He gotta take what he can get and let him know, like, I'm fucking you up. Every time you step forward, I'm like, don't come over here. You know what I'm saying?
That's what he said he was gonna do, though. Hey, I believe you, Berlanga.
They be talking.
You have to show me.
I hope he do. I'm pulling for Berlanga. I'm just a realist and saying that, man, the safe money. We know where the safe money is. But I hope Berlanga knock his head off in the stands. I just don't think it's gonna happen. I just know what he got to do to try to make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But like I said, I got that little tickle in my head, man. That fucking DAZN, bro. So I don't know what they're up to.
I feel you though. Well, we gonna wrap it up, man. But hey,
I'm telling you,
come through anytime, man. Feel free, hit me up. You know what I'm saying?
This was fun, bro.
You got any ideas or anything you wanna do in the future, or you want to talk through, man? Feel free.
We went way off topic, bro. This is supposed to be about Crawford and Fundora, right? I don't want to.
That's where after I do my initial piece. Look, after I do my initial piece, I gotta get that out the way so that once they get through that, it's open season. That's how every show is.
All right. Yeah, I hate doing shit like that, man. But
no, it's all good, man.
This was fun.
I appreciate you for stopping through.
Yeah. All right, brother. Be easy.
All right, bro. Now have a good evening.
All right, you too.
All right, peace. Johnny Addison, great show. Body work. Now march down to your bookie and bet a stack on Canelo by KO inside of 8. And remember, your boy DJ said so. Watch. Canelo was pissed, and he one of the few that fight better. Yeah, Canelo perform under them big bright lights. Hey, all the onus is on all of the onus is on your boy Belonga. But let me see. Let me look at these comments. James said, I got Belonga with the upset of the year. You gonna put a stack on that? Canelo going to run through Belonga, Bud, and Benavidez. Yikes. Belonga has to use a jab. It would be, I don't look at him as a jabber, but if he were to employ a jab, it would have definitely helped. Definitely helped. Canelo probably punches harder than Belonga. We'll see. We'll see. Because how hard somebody punch also has to deal with who has the punch resistance. Because I seen Ryan Garcia hit Tank Davis flush. I seen him hit Tank flush with a hook. Then I also seen him hit Devin flush with a hook. And we seen what happened. Belonga is a harder puncher. I wouldn't say that. Canelo really punched. Canelo slowed down also. He looked good versus Munguia and Charlo. Yeah. He looked better in his last two fights than the guys they say he's ducking did in theirs. Touche, King Sakuna. Berlanga is hungry and gets stronger later rounds. It's a good fight. I'm not mad at it. Canelo should be the favorite, though. Yeah. Canelo is hard to knock out. Yeah. I don't even know if... Did he get dropped once? I don't know. I don't even think he got dropped yet. But it was a good show, you know. The whole point of what I'm saying is, man, if we're gonna judge boxing from a business standpoint, we got to keep that same energy when one boxer is keeping their best interest in mind, and then your favorite boxer is keeping their best interest in mind. Let's not get bent out of shape when Fundora said, "You're not going to Jamel Herring me," like Shakur did him. Where he backed him off from the corner with an 80-20, took his belt. Put him on the line for his belt and then just mushed him as far as his payday. Like, we don't condone that, man. So don't be mad at Fundora when he passed up on that offer and he go another route. Let's just keep it a buck to where if one businessman can be shrewd, you got to respect how this other man gonna handle business. And that goes for promoters too, because we like to pick and choose what was a good move and what was a viable option and what we can condone and, you know, what we agree with when it comes to certain promoters. And then we have that diffy energy when it comes to others. That was the purpose of the show initially. Then we got off into some matchups, man. We got to kick it with my man JDL. But I salute to everybody that came out. Nah, the last time he got wobbled was like 15 years ago. Oh, he got wobbled. Big Canelo fan. But shout out to King of Sakuna. Shout out to James. Shout out to Johnny Allison. Shout out to JDL Boxing. Who else was in the building? Shout out to Don't Sleep. Shout out to his twin. Shout out to Cookie Monster. You know what I'm saying? We back up there. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody who came through and hollered at your boy. You know what I'm saying? Kirkland. Yeah, Kirkland. People had high hopes for Kirkland, huh? Salute, man. Yeah, man. It's always wonderful, man. You know I like talking that good boxing, man. I talk that fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. You know what I'm saying? So I know I don't get the congregation jumping for joy and all that, but at the same time, I be here, man, doing my thing on a regular basis. Let me play my little commercial. Great show, man. Great show. Thanks for everybody who commented. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who expressed themselves. You know, this is always an open platform to where you can express yourself. You don't even have to agree. We can disagree. We can not pick the same people. Like, this is not a yes man channel, and we don't do this is prevalent here in today's day and time, but this is not where we don't do the sausage party. We don't do sausage party boxing talk, man. This is actually a safe place to where you can represent your favorite fighter. You can express. You can go hard in the paint. We're gonna put it on the scale. You're gonna have your, your opinions. I'm gonna have mine. We're gonna work it out, and it is what it is. Either way, we just want, the sport of boxing to grow, man. We don't prefer one boxer over the other. We uphold the sport and the longevity of the sport, because those names are going to change. Oh yeah, those names are going to change, man. But that's it, man. If nobody else wanted anything or had anything to say, I give you, an opportunity to say whatever it is you need to say. If you want to pull something up, put something out there. If you catch this on a playback, or you have some feedback or an idea to where you might want to do a collaboration, or you want to hear me speak about something or my take on a video, you know what I'm saying? Remember, this is fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. Fact-based content. Well, I take my time. I don't have to be first. I'm not aiming to be Z now River. This is a watering hole to where if you want that specialty, when you go into that city or that town and you going for that bookstore with them hard books to learn about that, where you can't get that everywhere else, that's what this is. Fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. Fact-based content. But I hope everybody gets something from the content. I hope you learn something from the content. I hope it challenged you. Hope you didn't just walk away with an orgasm. You know what I'm saying? It did something up in the broker. You learned something, or it pricked your learning, or caused you to look at something like, that's interesting, or this thing. Don't be a sheep. Anyways, y'all, thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Body Work.